Chapter 1422. Xiaojin, stand guard at the entrance of the forest. If anyone comes, alert me immediately. Qin Feng pushed Hua Xiaojin away. He didn't dare to touch this woman. He was afraid that he wouldn't be able to control the fire poison and destroy her. Seeing Qin Feng walk towards the four women, Hua Xiaojin suddenly came to her senses. She immediately ran to grab Qin Feng and said, "Young Master Qiao, don't look for them. I'll help you." Qin Feng had no time to waste. If he didn't release the fire poison, it would explode. He glared at Hua Xiaojin and said, "Young Master Qiao, don't look for them. I'll help you." Hua Xiaojin was so scared that she didn't dare to speak. She watched as Qin Feng walked in front of the Violet Cloud Mountain disciples. She was very disappointed. What was young Master Qiao thinking? Was her charm really not enough? She didn't think she was any worse than the four women. "Young Master Qiao, what are you doing?" At this time, Qin Feng's body was like fire. His eyes looked like they were about to shoot out flames. Violet Rain and the others retreated in fear. A strong wind suddenly rose. Qin Feng shot to their side. He grabbed the four of them and disappeared into the depths of the forest. Hua Xiaojin didn't go in a peek. Even if she didn't look, she knew what young Master Qiao was doing. This was because the four women's shouts came from the forest. Their voices were earth-shattering. After a full 2 hours, the movement on the other side finally stopped. Hua Xiaojin let out a long sigh of relief. Her heart was a little itchy because of it. "Xiaojin." Qin Feng had already walked out of the forest. He was wearing a vest and beach pants. His fiery red skin was gone. He looked like nothing had happened. Hua Xiaojin lowered her head in disappointment and didn't answer Qin Feng. "Why aren't you talking?" Qin Feng walked over and pulled her into his arms. Hua Xiaojin secretly glanced at the forest and saw Violet Rain and the other women walking out. The four of them supported each other as they walked out. They all looked exhausted. "I am not liked by young Master Qiao. It's better if I don't talk." Tears welled up in Hua Xiaojin's eyes. Qin Feng was amused by her wronged expression. He patted her head and said, "How do I not like you? I didn't bring you in because I like you." Hua Xiaojin was stunned. "Why?" "I was poisoned by Yang Su's fire poison, so I had to release it. If I brought you in alone, you'd probably die." Qin Feng explained the situation clearly. Hua Xiaojin gaped in shock. She looked at Ziyu and the other 3 girls, thinking that it really was the case. "Qiao, young Master Qiao, this lowly servant has wronged you. Please punish me, young Master Qiao." Hua Xiaojin's heart suddenly became happy again. Qin Feng pinched her waist and smiled. "All right, I'll remember this punishment. When there's no one around next time, I'll punish you harshly." Hua Xiaojin was so embarrassed that her face was about to drip water. Of course, she knew what punishment Qin Feng was talking about. The great battle in the forest had forced the fire poison out of Qin Feng's body, and he was tired and powerless. The 6 of them rested on the spot until dawn the next day before continuing their journey. The scenery in the depths of the Fire Beast Battalion became more and more pleasant. This place no longer looked like a desert. It felt like little Jiangnan. This was the first time Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojin came to the Fire Beast Battalion. They were shocked by the scene in front of them. No one would believe that there was such a relaxing place in this sand-filled poison sun city. Roar, roar, roar. The surroundings were filled with the roars of fire beasts. Although the scenery was enchanting, other than Qin Feng admiring it, the surrounding disciples were all engaged in fierce battles with fire beasts. The number of fire beasts in the depths of the Fire Beast Battalion was several times more than in the periphery. Seeing the fire beasts scurrying around, the eyes of the purple Sunset Mountain's 4 girls lit up. "Young Master Qiao, should we collect some fire spirit stones?" Violet Rain asked cautiously. Without waiting for Qin Feng to speak, Hua Xiaojin pouted and complained, "We are here to find the 1,000 Shadow Sect disciples. If you want to hunt fire beasts, go ahead. Don't follow us in the future." Violet Rain secretly glared at Hua Xiaojin. Her heart was filled with resentment. In her opinion, her strength was higher than Hua Xiaojin's, and she had fought an intense battle with Xiao Feng last night. Why was Hua Xiaojin so arrogant? However, Violet Rain didn't dare to contradict Hua Xiaojun. As a woman, she could clearly see how much Qiao Feng doted on Hua Xiaojun. Young Lady Hua, please blame me for speaking out of turn. We will not leave. We will help young Master Qiao scout for information on the Thousand Shadow Sect disciples. Then the four of you will scout that side. Young Master Qiao and I will go to the other side, Hua Xiaojun said as she held on to Qin Feng's arm tightly. Violet Rain didn't move. She looked pitifully at Qin Feng, waiting for his orders. Do as Xiaojun says. If you encounter any trouble, just shout my name loudly. The six of them split up. Hua Xiaojun was finally alone with Qin Feng. She bounced happily along the way. Fortunately, the Fire Beast Battalion's inner regions weren't considered big. Along the way, Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun encountered disciples from dozens of factions. Some of the factions had offended Qin Feng before, and Qin Feng conveniently snatched away the fire spirit stones that they had collected. Young Master Qiao, those ladies are dressed so beautifully, Hua Xiaojun suddenly yelled. Qin Feng looked over, and his expression changed. He ran over and saw three ladies dressed in pink fighting with the fire beasts. That was the uniform of the Thousand Shadow Sect. Pong, pong, pong. The battlefield was filled with loud noises. The 3,000 Shadow Sect disciples all had extraordinary skills. When Qin Feng arrived, they had already killed the 3 fire beasts and were collecting the fire spirit stones from their bodies. Who are you? The older lady suddenly pointed her sword at Qin Feng. She thought that Qin Feng was here to snatch the fire spirit stones. The other 2 ladies had already collected the fire spirit stones and surrounded Qin Feng from the left and right. You, are you disciples of the Thousand Shadow Sect? Qin Feng didn't care about the 3 ladies pointing their swords at him. He was so excited that his voice was trembling. The older lady frowned slightly, and the chill on her body dissipated a little. We are disciples of the Thousand Shadow Sect. Which sect are you from? Why are you looking for us? After confirming that they were from the Thousand Shadow Sect, Qin Feng seemed to see hope. He excitedly rushed forward and grabbed the lady's arm. Beauty, quickly bring me to your sect. I want to find someone. The lady was shocked and hurriedly shook off Qin Feng's hand. Her heart was filled with astonishment. Qin Feng's attack speed was too fast. She didn't even have time to react before her arm was grabbed. You, why are you so careless? If you dare to act recklessly again, I will kill you with my sword. The lady's expression turned cold. Hua Xiaojun ran to Qin Feng's side and asked, Young Master Qiao, what's going on? Qin Feng didn't even have time to explain to Hua Xiaojun. He continued speaking to the lady. Don't misunderstand. I have no ill intentions. I just want to make a trip to the Thousand Shadow Sect. The lady interrupted Qin Feng. Impossible. Other than the female disciples of the Thousand Shadow Sect, how can outsiders casually enter? What's more, the Thousand Shadow Sect is a place exclusively for female cultivators. No man has ever been able to enter. Stop your wishful thinking. Hua Xiaojun finally understood. These 3 ladies dressed in pink were actually from the Thousand Shadow Sect. She was extremely happy for Qin Feng, but after hearing the lady's words, both Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun were disappointed. Junior sister Qingxiu, what happened? That brat can't be trying to bully you, right? A cold voice echoed. 3 men dressed in black robes with a large saber pattern carved on their chests ran over. The 3 ladies from the Thousand Shadow Sect seemed to have seen their savior. They all rushed over, and the older lady said, Senior brother Qianzhe, you didn't bully us, but he insisted that we bring him to the Thousand Shadow Sect. He is delaying our precious mission time. There is a time limit to the Fire Beast Battalion's mission. 50 spirit stones could only allow one to stay for 3 days and 3 nights. If they didn't seize the time to collect the fire spirit stones, they might end up incurring losses. The man named Qianzue was in his 30s. He suddenly glared at Qin Feng and yelled, Brat, how dare you waste junior sister Qingxiu's precious time? I advise you to hand over all the fire spirit stones on you, and I will spare you this time. Qianzue's attitude was so arrogant that even Hua Xiaojun couldn't stand it anymore. Qin Feng had already recognized the 3 of them. They were all disciples of Soul Saber. According to the records in the file, the 3 female disciples of the Thousand Shadows sect and the 3 male disciples of Soul Saber had teamed up to do a mission. Among the Soul Saber trio, only Qianzhe was at the 6th stage of Qi Realm. The other 2 disciples were at the 5th stage of Qi Realm. Qin Feng couldn't be bothered to look at them and continued speaking to Qing Xiu, "Beauty Qing Xiu, as long as you bring me to the Thousand Shadows sect, I can give you a lot of cultivation resources." Qing Xiu's expression turned cold, and Hua Xiaojun had a gloomy expression. In the Divine Continent, who would call someone beautiful the moment they met? Only perverts would do that. Hua Xiaojun realized that young Master Qiao always called girls this way, and she couldn't understand him. Qian Zue was suddenly infuriated. He immediately drew the large saber from his waist and slashed down vertically. A gust of violent wind blew, and the ferocious Qi forced the others to retreat. Only Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun were still standing in the same spot. Before Hua Xiaojun could draw her sword, she realized that Qian Zue had already landed on the empty ground 100 meters away. Rumble! This loud sound shocked everyone. Even some of the disciples that were fighting with the fire beasts couldn't help but look over. However, those people quickly returned to their own battles. There were countless fights in the Fire Beast Battalion because of the Fire Spirit Stones. The 3 female disciples of the Thousand Shadows sect couldn't recover from their shock for a long time. Soul Saber's senior brother Qian Zue was a martial expert who had already reached the 6th stage of Qi Realm. He only needed one opportunity to break through to the 7th stage of Qi Realm. However, such a martial expert was sent flying by Qin Feng with a single slap. Looking at Qin Feng's appearance, he was just a young man in his early 20s. "Brat, how dare you injure our senior brother Qianzhe? Do you know who we are? Disciples of the Soul Saber sect. I think you want to die." The 2 Soul Saber disciples regained their senses and glared at Qin Feng fiercely. However, they kept cursing, and no one dared to take revenge. Chapter 14:23. Soul Blade and the other 2 were lying in a row. There were 2 stage 5 Qi practitioners and 1 stage 6 Qi practitioners. The 3 ladies from the Thousand Shadows sect finally came to their senses. When they looked at Qin Feng again, there was fear in their eyes. Qin Feng's skills were too terrifying. What are you doing? We are really Soul Blade disciples. You better not mess around." Seeing Qin Feng approaching, Qian Zue and the other 2 were trembling in fear. "I know you are Soul Blade disciples. The people I am going to deal with are from the Soul Blade sect." Qin Feng's words made the 3 of them feel despair. They had kicked a nail. Their pretentious arrogance and fierceness completely dissipated. The overbearing and arrogant Qianzi suddenly knelt in front of Qin Feng and kowtowed like a chicken pecking rice. "Young hero, don't kill me. I am willing to hand over all my fire spirit stones." The 3 ladies from the Thousand Shadows sect were stunned. They looked at Qianzi, who had lost his dignity like a wild dog, in disbelief. When the other 2 Soul Blade disciples came back to their senses, they quickly learned from their big senior brother and kowtowed to beg for mercy. "Leave all your spirit stones and fire spirit stones and get lost immediately." Qin Feng didn't start a massacre. When he first stepped into the Fire Beast Battalion, he felt a strong and powerful aura. Now that he stepped into the depths of the Fire Beast Battalion, that aura became even clearer. Qian Zue and the other 2 were relieved. They quickly left all their spirit stones on the ground and ran away as if they were running for their lives. Everything happened too fast. The 3 ladies from the Thousand Shadows sect were still in a daze. They came here with the Soul Blade disciples. They didn't expect that their backer would be defeated just like that. "Beautiful Delicate, take these spirit stones." Qin Feng looked at the older lady and said. The 3 ladies woke up with a start. Delicate frowned. She couldn't understand Qin Feng. This guy had a dignified appearance and was full of righteousness. He didn't look like a wretched person, but every time he opened his mouth, he would tease them like a pervert. Delicate was so angry that she didn't dare to say anything. "Senior sister, do we want those spirit stones?" The other two disciples stared at the two piles of spirit stones at Qin Feng's feet. Qin Xiu was also hesitant. Of course she wanted it, but she didn't know what Qin Feng was thinking. Qin Feng immediately gave Hua Xiaojun a meaningful glance. Hua Xiaojun immediately picked up the spirit stones on the ground and walked over to the three women. She held Qin Xiu's hand as if they were sisters. Big sister Qin Xiu, don't misunderstand. Our family's young master Qiao calls women beautiful. This is his catchphrase. He doesn't mean to humiliate or disrespect you. Since young master Qiao said to give these spirit stones to you, just accept them. Qin Feng was very satisfied with Hua Xiaojun's performance. Under her persuasion, the three women put away the spirit stones. One's hands are short when one receives a gift, but one's mouth is short when one receives a gift. This time, Qin Xiu and the other two couldn't ignore Qin Feng anymore. The other two female disciples even took the initiative to announce their names. Young Master Qiao, I am a disciple of the Thousand Shadows sect. Qing Mei, I am Qin Zhu, a disciple of the Thousand Shadows sect. Qin Feng also realized that the word beauty had become a term of mockery in the Divine Continent, so he changed his words. Lady Qing Xiu, I heard that the Thousand Shadows sect recently accepted a new disciple. The three women suddenly became vigilant. Qing Xiu said, Young Master Qiao, this is our sect's secret. Forgive me for not revealing it. Although Qing Xiu didn't admit it explicitly, Qin Feng was sure that Zhao Ling Xian had been brought into the Thousand Shadows sect. He came to the Divine Continent this time to take Zhao Ling Xian and his mother, Qing Ying, away from the Thousand Shadows sect. Now that he had found a disciple from the Thousand Shadows sect, Qin Feng couldn't suppress his joy. Lady Qing Xiu, can I trouble you to bring me to the Thousand Shadows sect? I can give you a lot more spirit stones. The eyes of the three women from the Thousand Shadows sect flashed with light, but it quickly dimmed. Young Master Qiao, I am not targeting you. This is the sect's rule. We are not allowed to bring outsiders into the sect. Otherwise, we will be expelled from the sect. Qing Xiu had a difficult expression. Qin Feng knew that the Thousand Shadows sect was his mother's sect. He treated the Thousand Shadows sect disciples amiably and didn't want to use forceful methods. How long have you been out of seclusion? Qing Xiu was a little guarded against Qin Feng. Qing Zhu was the youngest, and she said foolishly, Young Master Qiao, we have been out for almost a month. After we finish collecting the fire spirit stones, we plan to return to the sect and cultivate in seclusion, striving to break through to our current cultivation realm. Qin Feng was overjoyed. How many more fire spirit stones do you want to collect? I haven't thought about how many fire spirit stones we need to collect. When we came to the Fire Beast Battalion, each person had to pay 150 high-grade spirit stones, which allowed us to do missions here for 10 days. There are still 3 days left, and we plan to leave after completing these 3 days, Qing Zhu said. Qin Feng was a little depressed. He couldn't wait for the three of them to return to the sect so that he could track the Thousand Shadows sect's location. However, Qin Feng couldn't force them to leave. It would be too obvious, and it would definitely arouse the three women's suspicions. Young Master Qiao, we have searched that side. There's no. At this moment, the four ladies from the Purple Sunset Mountain rushed over. Just as Violet Rain was speaking halfway, she abruptly covered her mouth. She pointed at Qing Xiu and the other two and shouted, Young Master Qiao, you have already found them. Qin Feng didn't bother about Violet Rain and was thinking about how to get Qing Xiu and the other two to return to the sect as soon as possible. He realized that the three women were here to collect fire spirit stones. If he gave them enough fire spirit stones, they wouldn't be willing to stay here any longer. Lady Qing Xiu, it is too dangerous for the three of you to move around. Why don't we team up and do missions? I don't lack fire spirit stones, and I will give all the spirit stones I obtained from hunting the fire beasts to you. When Qin Feng finished speaking, all the women looked at him with flabbergasted expressions. Everyone was very clear of Qin Feng's valiant skills, and it would be great to have his help. However, Violet Rain and Qing Xiu couldn't understand why Qin Feng was so kind. Is that true, young Master Qiao? Then we are really grateful to you. Before Qin Xiu could make a decision, the petite Qin Zhu was already jumping with joy. This time, Violet Rain finally understood. She thought that this young Master Qiao was truly ferocious. He already had 5 women by his side, and he found another 3 women. However, when she thought about Qin Feng's heroism in the forest last night, Violet Rain didn't find it strange anymore. Fire beasts could be seen roaming the depths of the Fire Beast Battalion, and these fire beasts were of different sizes. Even the smallest fire beast at the infant stage was as tall as a normal person. However, the strength of a fire beast at the infant stage was only at the first stage of true qi, and they would be instantly killed. However, the disciples of the various sects rarely hunted fire beasts at the infant stage because their bodies didn't have any solidified fire spirit stones. As for the fire beasts at the youth and middle stage, they were much more ferocious. They were all over 3 meters tall, and when they ran, it felt like the ground was shaking. The strength of these fire beasts varied, and they were comparable to martial artists at the 4th stage of true qi to the 6th stage of true qi. The Sacred Gate disciples all came in groups, and a few of them surrounded a few fire beasts and attacked fiercely. If they were to fight individually, they might not be able to exterminate the fire beasts. Qin Feng casually looked around and said, "The fire beasts here aren't concentrated enough, and exterminating them would take too much time. Where's the base of the fire beasts? Let's directly go there and collect the fire spirit stones. It's much more efficient." All the girls looked at Qin Feng as if they were looking at an idiot. One of them said in a delicate voice, "Young Master Qiao, how can we go to the base of the fire beasts?" "Why not?" Qin Feng was puzzled. Violet Rain knew that this was Qin Feng's first time in Poison Sun City, so she hurriedly explained, "Young Master Qiao, these fire beasts are rank 2 demonic beasts. They have astonishing defense and ferocious attacks. Unless we form a group and kill the scattered fire beasts, we will only have a chance of victory. If we go to the base of the fire beasts, we will definitely die." After Qin Feng understood the reason, he smiled bitterly. He had forgotten the realms of the other girls. With their strength, they would have to rely on a group battle to deal with the fire beasts. If they fought head-on, both sides would suffer. However, Qin Feng was the opposite. He planned to activate the killer book to exterminate the fire beasts. Only by killing more fire beasts would he become stronger. "Don't be afraid. With me around, nothing will happen." Seeing Qin Feng's indisputable expression, everyone could only lead him to the deepest part of the Fire Beast Battalion. The environment in this area became even more pleasant. Even the desert was almost gone. The ground was filled with green mountains and clear waters, just like the little Jiangnan region. Wow, is this really the area of Poison Sun City? I feel like I've transmigrated to another place. Hua Xiaojun breathed in the fresh air and felt the cool breeze. She was in a good mood. Even Violet Rain, Delicate Beauty, and the others were stepping into the deepest part of the Fire Beast Battalion for the first time. There was no trace of the Holy Gate disciples in this area. Those disciples simply didn't dare to step into this area. Near the grassy lake, groups and groups of fire beasts gathered. Soon, some fire beasts discovered Qin Feng and the others. Roar! For a time, angry roars shook the heavens. Hundreds and thousands of fire beasts madly rushed over. Hua Xiaojun and the other girls were scared silly. They felt the ground beneath their feet violently shake, as if there was an earthquake. "Oh my God! How can there be so many fire beasts? Young Master Qiao, let's hurry and run. Otherwise, we will all die here. Let's not talk about us. Even if we call all the Holy Gate disciples outside, we might not be able to defeat them." Just as the girls were panicking, a pink light flashed past them. Qin Feng, who was standing in front of them, suddenly disappeared. Delicate Beauty and Violet Rain even thought that he had run away. Bang, bang, bang. But in the next second, violent explosions rang out incessantly. Among the thousands of fire beasts that rushed over, fire beasts fell one after another. However, even more fire beasts rushed over from behind. It was a spectacular scene, like the waves behind the Yangtze River surpassing the waves in front. The girls were still in a daze. They were so scared that they didn't even have the strength to run. However, they soon discovered an even more shocking scene. The group of fire beasts ran for a long time, but they maintained a distance of several dozen meters from them. As long as a fire beast exceeded this distance, it would suddenly explode and fall to the ground. Loud explosions rang out incessantly. It was like tens of thousands of muffled thunder falling from the sky. Chapter 14:24. Why do I feel like the ground is shaking more and more? Not good. The fire beasts in the outer area are coming. Seeing the hundreds of fire beasts behind them, the girls were shocked. Hua Xiaojin had followed Qin Fun for a long time and was a woman who had seen the world. She was the first to recover and rushed forward with her sword in hand. Whoosh! The violet cloud, sword pierced through the air. Instantly, dozens of sword lights whistled through the air. Hua Xiaojin was shrouded in a purple mist, like a hazy fairy descending to the mortal world. Violet Rain, Qin Xiu, and the others also came to their senses. Seeing the situation, they could only brace themselves and attack. Rumble. For a time, loud explosions sounded. Sword lights filled the sky, causing the group of fire beasts to roar again and again. The strength of the 7 girls wasn't high. Moreover, they were facing the fierce attack of hundreds of fire beasts. In a short while, they were repelled. Young Master Qiao, we can't hold on any longer. Violet Rain hurriedly cried for help. Hua Xiaojin glared at her angrily. Isn't this just looking for trouble for Qin Fun? Everyone, don't count on young Master Qiao. His situation is more critical. We must hold on and buy more time for young Master Qiao. Hua Xiaojin was brave and invincible. She had the lowest cultivation among the girls, but she was always at the forefront. Although her willpower was firm, Hua Xiaojin's strength was still too weak. Her violet cloud sword only slashed a few times before she was knocked away by a fire beast. The girl screamed. Qin Xiu hurriedly flew to catch Hua Xiaojin. The remaining 6 girls couldn't hold on any longer and retreated. The grassland that was suitable for people to stand on became smaller and smaller. It was about to be completely submerged by the fire beasts on both sides. Rumble. Just at this moment, a golden light fell from the sky. The several hundred-meter-long saber, Qi, forcibly split open a 10-meter-wide hole in the pile of fire beasts. Under the golden saber Qi, dozens of fire beasts instantly exploded, startling the rest of the fire beasts for a moment. Qin Fun didn't dare to stop. Taking advantage of the moment when the fire beasts in the south were stunned, he immediately thrust his spear towards the group of fire beasts in the north. Whoosh! 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 In an instant, thousands of red spear lights shot out like thousands of sharp arrows. Fire beasts constantly fell to the ground from the group of fire beasts. Such a fierce offensive made the women dumbfounded. Roar! Roar! However, the fire beasts were completely infuriated. Not only did they show no fear, but they also charged towards Qin Feng with even greater ferocity. They were like members of a suicide squad, and their blood-red eyes only had Qin Feng in them. It was as if they wanted to stomp him into pieces. Ding! Host Qin Feng has killed 10 fire beasts and leveled up the killer book by 1 level. All abilities have increased by 1. 5 times. Ding! Host Qin Feng has hunted 30 fire beasts and leveled up the killer book to level 2. All abilities have been doubled. Ding! Host Qin Feng has hunted 65 fire beasts and leveled up the killer book to level 3. All attributes have increased by 2. 5 times. The group of fire beasts were enraged, but Qin Feng's eyes were bloodshot. The system's voice kept ringing in his mind. In a short 10 minutes, the killer book was leveled up to level 3, and all its abilities were increased by 2. 5 times. Qin Feng immediately felt incomparably powerful. His saber descended, and the golden saber Qi seemed to solidify. A golden saber that was 300 to 400 meters long descended from the sky. It was like a saber strike from an angry god. The rainbow demon storm spear was even more invincible. As the spear danced, spear rays shot out like sharp arrows. The tough fur of the fire beasts were pierced through like tofu by the spear rays. The girls had already stopped attacking. They realized that with Qin Feng around, they didn't need to do anything. At this time, many sect disciples rushed over to see what was going on. When they saw this spectacular scene, their eyes and jaws dropped to the ground. Qin Feng's ferocious attacks continued. His killer book had already leveled up to level 4, and all abilities had been tripled. The crowd stood a few hundred meters away and watched with their blood boiling. They were a bit puzzled. Didn't normal people expend more true qi the more they fought and gradually become exhausted? Qin Feng was the opposite. The more he fought, the more ferocious he became. It was truly unimaginable. Who is that young man? How can he be so powerful? He's so young, and he's already at true Qi Stage 7. No, I suspect he's already at true Qi Stage 8. The crowd exclaimed. That was the realm of true Qi Stage 8. Only the vice sect leaders and sect leaders of the major sects could pry into that realm. But Qin Feng was only in his early 20s. Huh, isn't that young man the one who had a conflict with Elder Yang Su yesterday? Someone recognized Qin Feng. That can't be right. With the strength he's displaying right now, Yang Su, who's merely at true Qi Stage 7, is no match for him. I think in yesterday's battle, this young man definitely held back. Qin Feng inadvertently became the center of attention again. However, he didn't have the time to pay attention to those people's discussions. At this time, another group of people on horseback flew over. They were all dressed in white robes with a flame pattern engraved on their chests. It was the people from the Blazing Sun sect. Fuck! Elder Yang, the fire beasts have collectively gone berserk. As soon as they arrived, the Blazing Sun sect disciples were dumbstruck. Then, a cry of surprise came from the crowd. Quick, look! Didn't that brat offend Elder Yang yesterday? Everyone looked at Qin Feng, who was currently sweeping through the fire beasts, and quickly recognized him. When Yang Su saw this scene, his eyeballs almost fell to the ground. He was dumbstruck by Qin Feng's valiance and even felt some lingering fear. If he really had a battle to the death with this brat yesterday, he would definitely have been tortured to death. Elder Yang, this grandson, is actually this powerful? He must have been pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger yesterday. Oh no, this person won't cause trouble for us, right? If Vice Sect leader Yang Gang doesn't come out of seclusion, who can beat him? The Blazing Sun sect disciples began to panic. They were truly frightened by Qin Feng's strength. Even Yang Su's heart was at a loss. This morning, he was still fantasizing that Qin Feng would suffer a fate worse than death after being poisoned by the fire poison. After that, Qin Feng would kneel in front of him and beg for mercy. Now, it seemed that he was completely overthinking it. The commotion in the battlefield actually gradually calmed down. It wasn't that Qin Feng had killed all the fire beasts. There seemed to be countless fire beasts in this area. After one batch was destroyed, another batch would come. However, those fire beasts didn't attack anymore. Even they were suppressed by Qin Feng's ferocity. Thousands of fire beasts surrounded Qin Feng and the women. The open space was only a dozen or so meters wide, but the two waves of fire beasts didn't dare to encroach this distance. Young Master Qiao, what do we do now? Hua Xiaojin had suffered some injuries, and there were still traces of blood at the corner of her mouth. Qin Feng finally found some time. He flew to her side and personally fed her a few blood-solidifying pills. Only then did he relax. Violet Rain, Qin Xiu, and the others surrounded Qin Feng, looking at him with reverence. If Qin Feng hadn't held on until now, everyone would have been torn to shreds by those two waves of fire beasts. Young Master Qiao, why you are too amazing. Violet Rain sighed from the bottom of her heart. Qin Xiu was also full of admiration, but she said with some worry, why have these fire beasts stopped? Should we take advantage of this opportunity to escape? The women nodded. They looked at the hundreds and thousands of fire beasts around them. They never had any thoughts of victory. Qin Feng realized that these fire beasts were afraid of him. Originally, he had planned to use the Blood Demon armor and his Sovereign Realm ability to control the fire beasts. However, as soon as he arrived in this area, he had been attacked, and he had been flustered. Now that the situation had stabilized, Qin Feng tried to control them. Bang! A loud sound exploded on Qin Feng's body. Hua Xiaojun and the other women jumped in fright. They suddenly discovered that Qin Feng was wearing a set of blood-red battle armor. The blood demon armor's pure spirit blood of a super demon beast had been activated. Qin Feng's aura suddenly changed, becoming a dangerous and ferocious wild beast aura. Violet Rain, Qing Xiao, and the others instinctively took several steps back. Even Hua Xiaojun looked at Qin Feng with surprise, as if this was the first time she had seen him. Young Master Qiao. Hua Xiaojun subconsciously shouted, trying to wake Qin Feng up, but all she heard was Qin Feng's roar, as if he were an ancient beast that had suddenly awakened. Roar, roar. The entire earth shook, and even the weather changed drastically. Dark clouds covered the clear skies for tens of thousands of miles, and a torrential downpour began to fall. The blood that covered the ground was washed clean. The eyes of the fire beasts dimmed, and they began to kneel in a row, as if they were worshipping Qin Feng. Besides the howling wind and rain, the fire beast base fell into a deathly silence. Everyone was shocked by the scene in front of them. Many people rubbed their eyes, but when they opened them again, everything was still real. Roar, roar. Thousands of fire beasts knelt on the plains and roared in unison. Their roars shook the heavens and earth, lasting for a long time. When Qin Feng saw that he had successfully controlled the fire beasts' minds, he immediately gave an order. The group of fire beasts suddenly pounded their abdomens. This strange action confused everyone, but after a short moment, the fire beasts opened their mouths and spat out fiery red spirit stones. Fire spirit stones? Those are all fire spirit stones. Damn! A fire beast has at least 3 fire spirit stones in its body. With so many fire beasts, how many fire spirit stones would there be? What is going on with these fire beasts? That young man is like a god. Everyone was shocked by Qin Feng's miraculous beast-taming ability. Even Hua Xiaojun didn't know of his ability for the first time. In just a short moment, 3 small mountains were piled in front of Qin Feng, and they were all piled up with fire spirit stones. Qin Feng stood there and felt the temperature rise. Even if there was a heavy downpour, it couldn't reduce the heat from the fire spirit stones. Young Master Qiao, seeing the 3 spirit stone mountains, Violet Rain and Qing Xiao, could no longer remain calm. The 2 girls walked back and looked at Qin Feng with anticipation. Each of your sects will have 1 fire spirit stone mountain. Xiao Zhen, keep the other spirit stone mountain. Qin Feng gave the order, and the 3 girls were shocked. These were 3 fire spirit stone mountains, and each spirit stone mountain contained at least a few thousand fire spirit stones. Qin Feng casually opened his mouth and gave away 2 of the spirit stone mountains. The 3 girls from the Thousand Shadow sect were already hurriedly storing the fire spirit stones. 100 meters away, there were still many sect disciples watching covetously. It'd be troublesome if they came to snatch it. Chapter 1425. Seeing the ladies collecting the fire spirit stones on the ground in the Fire Beast Battalion's base, everyone in the outer perimeter felt an itch in their hearts. They stared at the fiery red spirit stones and wished they could snatch them all. However, when they recalled Qin Feng's valiant skills, more than half of them immediately dispelled that frightening thought. Humans die for wealth, and birds die for food. A few groups of disciples finally jumped out from the crowd. Under the temptation of the 3 spirit stone mountains, they had completely lost their rationality. This, brother, it's not right for you to monopolize the Fire Beast Battalion's fire spirit stones, right? A man in a white robe with a hanging sword engraved on it spoke first. Qin Feng recognized their attire. They were the disciples of the Sky Cloud Sword. Brother, he is right. We have all paid the spirit stones to complete this mission. Right now, we haven't even earned back the spirit stones we paid. Shouldn't you give everyone some fire spirit stones as compensation? The black and white robed gate of life and death disciple echoed. Seeing that someone jumped out to speak, more and more sect disciples stood out. This kind of herd mentality didn't only exist in the secular world of China. It was the same in the divine continent. Everyone, don't be afraid. We have the advantage in numbers. Furthermore, That fellow lost a lot of chi in the battle with the fire beasts. I don't believe he can still hold on. Well said. If they don't give us any fire spirit stones today, we will join forces to deal with them. The crowd discussed and stared at the 3 spirit stone mountains behind Qinfeng with bloodshot eyes. Hua Xiaojun and the girls got nervous and hastened the speed of collecting the spirit stones. However, there were so many fire spirit stones. How could they be collected in a short period of time? Seeing that the conflict between the 2 sides was getting worse, Yang Su, who had been standing at the side with a cold expression, suddenly sneered. He jumped in front of everyone and said, "Everyone, don't worry. This Fire Beast Battalion is under the control of our Blazing Sun sect. Everything has to be approved by us. Since Xiao Feng collected more than half of the fire spirit stones in the bodies of the fire beasts, I support everyone to split the 3 spirit stone mountains." As soon as Yang Su's words came out, the crowd, which was already restless, was completely emboldened. They knew that Qinfeng was incredible, but Elder Yang Su wasn't weak either. He was an expert that had stepped into the 7th stage of Qi. Furthermore, even if Elder Yang Su couldn't defeat Qinfeng, there was still the Blazing Sun sect's vice sect leader overseeing the Fire Beast Battalion. It was rumored that the deputy sect master had already stepped into the 8th stage of Qi. How could the young Qinfeng fight him? Fellow Taoists, since Grand Elder Yang Su is on our side, what else do we have to fear? Fellow Taoists, since Elder Yang Su is on our side, we don't have to be afraid. I advise you to listen to Elder Yang Su's arrangements. Otherwise, we won't stand on ceremony with you. The crowd, which was originally standing 100 meters away, had now rushed to a distance of more than 10 meters. The girls were so frightened that they became flustered. Hua Xiaojun abandoned her task of collecting spirit stones and ran to Qinfeng's side with her sword in hand. She looked like she was ready to fight to the death at any moment. Qinfeng held Hua Xiaojun in his arms as he swept an indifferent gaze over the Holy Gate's disciples. If it was before, Qinfeng wouldn't have the confidence to face hundreds of sect experts at the same time. But now that he had leveled up the killer book to the 4th level, his strength had increased by 3 times. He wasn't afraid at all. Qinfeng didn't even bother about their threats and spoke to the ladies who were frantically collecting spirit stones. Lady Qingxiu, Zhu, all of you come over and place the fire spirit stones over there. I want to see who dares to snatch my Xiao Feng's things today. Anyone who crosses this line will be killed without mercy. Rumble. As soon as Qinfeng's voice fell, a golden saber descended from the void. The saber seal was several hundred meters long. When it landed on the ground, it split open a long and deep ravine 5 meters in front of Qinfeng. The ravine extended to the empty space several hundred meters away. It was like a Chu River dividing line that separated him from the Holy Gate disciples. This strike was so ferocious and violent that it scared the shouting crowd into silence. Qinfeng's last words were still echoing in everyone's mind. Anyone who crosses this line will be killed without mercy. The huge Fire Beast Battalion base fell into silence. The people on the other side were momentarily at a loss. Even the ladies standing behind Qinfeng were stunned. Liu, Qingxiu, and the others looked at Qinfeng's back with shining eyes. They were deeply impressed by the arrogance and dominance revealed by his saber strike. There were hundreds of Qi experts and almost half of the Holy Gate disciples in the Divine Continent. But in Qinfeng's eyes, it was as if they were nothing. A moment later, a turbulent discussion came from the opposite side. While they were afraid of Qinfeng, they were also completely infuriated by Qinfeng's audacity and arrogance. Isn't he just at the 7th stage of Qi? What's there to be arrogant about? Elder Yang Su is only at the 7th stage of Qi. Has he ever been arrogant? I don't believe this. I will definitely cross this line. Is there anyone who wants to come with me? Let's go together and capture those ladies first. We'll force that Xiao guy to submit to us. Elder Yang, why don't you take the lead? The crowd was noisy, but no one dared to be the first to cross the ravine that Qinfeng had created. Yang Su was so angry that he blew his beard and glared at them. This was the Fire Beast Battalion, the territory of the Blazing Sun sect. How could they allow that Xiao guy to behave atrociously here? However, Yang Su was somewhat uncertain. He couldn't understand where Qin Feng's courage came from. He actually dared to challenge these hundreds of Holy Gate disciples. All right, I will take the lead on behalf of the Blazing Sun sect. Heroes, follow me. Yang Su suddenly roared and immediately turned into a black shadow as he shot forward. The hundreds of disciples were already ready to make a move. When they saw that Elder Yang had made his move, they all followed suit. For a moment, black shadows leaped up and down. It was a spectacular scene of hundreds of flowers blooming. Hua Xiaojun and the other ladies were already screaming. The dozen or so meters between the two sides were crossed by the disciples in the blink of an eye. However, Yang Su, who was the first to move, didn't cross the ravine. He had already retreated and stood at his original position to watch the show. Rumble. A loud explosion suddenly erupted without any warning. Qin Feng's face was ashen. The golden phoenix saber in his hand slashed out horizontally. Instantly, a golden saber chi that was hundreds of meters long appeared. For a moment, screams filled the sky. Explosions occurred one after another. Any disciple who crossed the ravine was blasted into pieces by the violent saber chi. I said, those who cross this line will die. Once Qin Feng attacked, he wouldn't stop so easily. He roared and leaped into the air. Instantly, he floated in the air. There seemed to be two balls of fire flickering under his feet. He struck out with both palms, and a rain of fire fell from the sky. Rumble. The explosion caused by the golden saber hadn't subsided yet. The destructive flames burned wantonly again. The ravine that was hundreds of meters long was filled with flames and instantly turned into a ravine of fire. Many sect disciples fell into the fire pit and wailed like ghosts and wolves as they were burned by the raging flames. However, there were also more than a dozen disciples who had already killed their way to Hua Xiaojun and the other ladies. However, they didn't have time to capture the ladies. A wave of red spear chi fell like flying arrows and instantly pierced through the crowd. Bang, bang, bang. This fierce battle was incomparably violent from the start. In less than half a minute, 20 to 30 of the 100 or so disciples had already died. The remaining disciples immediately retreated. Looking at the hundreds of meters long fire pit and the scene of the continuous explosions on the other side, each of them stared with their eyes wide open. There were no longer any complaints or clamors from the crowd. They felt a lingering fear in their hearts. Yang Su's legs trembled uncontrollably. He realized that Qin Feng was far stronger than him. If he hadn't been cautious and immediately retreated, there would have been another corpse in the fire pit. The raging flames were still howling incessantly in the wind. Hua Xiaojun and the other ladies were dumbstruck. They didn't know what to do at this moment. They even forgot about the Spirit Stone Mountain behind them. Xiaojun, why are you opening your mouth so wide? Quickly go and collect the fire spirit stones. Qin Feng joked as though nothing had happened. It was as though the spectacular scene in front of him wasn't created by him. Hua Xiaojun's face turned red. She pouted and ran to collect the spirit stones. Young Master Qiao, you're so annoying. You, Qing Xiao, and the rest of the ladies were startled and went to collect the spirit stones. This time, no one else dared to snatch Qin Feng's fire spirit stones. They stood over a dozen meters away. This distance was something they could cross in a breath's time, but it felt like a chasm that could never be crossed. 10 minutes later, the ladies surrounded Qin Feng again. They had already collected the 3 spirit stone mountains, and they couldn't conceal the joy on their faces. Young Master Qiao, thank you so much. The amount of fire spirit stones you collected in this short period of time is dozens of times more than what we collected in a week. Qing Xiao had a grateful expression. Violet Rain's face blushed red. She gave Qin Feng a meaningful glance, hiding some unspeakable secret. Hua Xiaojun couldn't stand it anymore. She quickly grabbed onto Qin Feng's arm and said, Lady Ziyu, since young Master Qiao and I have found 1,000 Shadow Sect disciples, there is no need for you to follow us. Go wherever you want to go. Ziyu was very anxious. She was now relying on Qin Feng. If she could follow such an expert, what mission couldn't she complete? What's more, Qin Feng's extravagance had stunned Ziyu. She believed that staying by Qin Feng's side wouldn't be wrong. Young Master Qiao, if the four of us leave you now, we will definitely be bullied by others. Please don't chase us away. We are willing to obey any of your instructions. Ziyu gave Qin Feng a coquettish glance as she spoke. Qin Feng didn't mind Ziyu's enticement. That night, his fire poison acted up. Otherwise, with Hua Xiaozhen's looks that weren't much more outstanding than the four ladies from the Zixia sect, Qin Feng would have looked for Hua Xiaozhen even if he needed her. Now that he had finished collecting the fire spirit stones, Qin Feng immediately thought of the proper business. He looked at Qingxiu and said, "Lady Qingxiu, I have already extracted the fire spirit stones from the Fire Beast Battalion's fire beasts. If you continue to stay here, it will be a waste of time." Qin Feng didn't directly ask the three ladies to return to the sect. Instead, he used an indirect approach. Chapter 1426. Qin Feng was immediately depressed. Why was there a mission? Lady Qingxiu, I'm a bit tired after the big battles just now. I'm afraid I can't do any more missions. You've been out for quite a long time, so why don't you return to the sect and go into seclusion to break through? Qin Feng pretended to be tired and suddenly lay on Hua Xiaozhen's body. Qingxiu rolled her eyes. This Qin Feng's acting was too fake. Anyone with a discerning eye could see through it. Young Master Qiao, why don't you listen to me talk about the mission before you make a decision? Seeing Qingxiu so insistent, Qin Feng could only nod. Speak, I won't do it anyway. Qingxiu almost fell. She thought that young hero Qiao was too direct, but she quickly calmed down and said, "There's a legend in the Fire Beast Battalion that says there's an ancient beast, the giant winged fire demon, hidden in the depths of the Fire Beast Battalion. If you eat the giant winged fire demon's meat, you can extend your lifespan by 10 years. If you drink its blood, you can break through quickly." Qin Feng, who was originally irritated, gradually became serious. If this legend was true, he really wanted to see the giant winged fire demon. In the end, Qin Feng's current level of true qi level was too low in the divine continent. He urgently wanted to break through quickly. At the same time, he had a thought. If he could subdue the giant winged fire demon for his own use, it would be an incomparably powerful battle pet. Big Sister Qingxiu, is what you said true? That giant winged fire demon isn't an incarnation of Xuanzang, right? Hua Xiaozhen was dumbstruck. Her words made everyone laugh. After laughing a few times, Ziyu became serious. Young Master Qiao, I've heard of the legend that Senior Sister Qingxiu spoke of, but I don't know if it's true or not. This is because up until now, no one has seen that ancient beast. Even if someone has, I'm afraid they're already dead. Qingxiu nodded and said, Junior Sister Ziyu is right. Even if the legend is true, that giant wing fire demon is definitely an extremely powerful existence. I only mention this matter because I saw that young Master Qiao's strength is superb. As for whether or not you want to go explore, it's up to young Master Qiao to decide. All the women looked at Qin Feng expectantly. They clearly wanted to find that legendary beast. This kind of super demonic beast was filled with treasures. If one could really eat its flesh and drink its blood, they would definitely be able to soar several realms overnight. On the other hand, Hua Xiaozhen's face was filled with worry. Compared to breaking through to the next realm, she was more concerned about Qin Feng's safety. Young Master Qiao, I think we should forget about it. What if that ancient beast is more powerful than you? Qin Feng had already considered Hua Xiaozhen's worries. If that giant wing fire demon was really very powerful, Qin Feng would just fly the Black Dragon mech and escape with the girls. He had seen the extreme speed of the Black Dragon mech before. He believed that escaping would not be a problem. Lady Qingxiu, do you know where that ancient beast is? Qin Feng had already made his decision. We definitely don't know its exact location. We can't even tell if the legend is true or false. However, it is rumored that the colossal beast is hidden in the deepest part of the Fire Beast Battalion. We could try our luck there, Qingxiu said. All right, let's go take a look. Qin Feng made up his mind. Qingxiu, Violet Rain, and the other girls were excited. Hua Xiaozhen's little face was filled with worry. However, she knew that Qin Feng would not change his mind, so she did not try to persuade him further. Qin Feng was about to bring the girls deeper into the Fire Beast Battalion to search for the giant winged fire demon. Qin Xiu hurriedly stopped him and said, "Young Master Qiao, don't be anxious. The Fire Beast Battalion has been occupied by the Blazing Sun sect for many years. The depths of the Fire Beast Battalion have been classified as a restricted area. We have to inform the Blazing Sun sect first. If they do not allow us to enter, then there is nothing we can do." Qin Xiu, Violet Rain, and the other girls were very afraid of the Blazing Sun sect. This place was guarded by the great Elder Yang Su and a deputy sect leader. However, Qin Feng waved his hand and said, "What is there to inform? Poison Sun City is public land. Why should the Blazing Sun sect have the final say in the Fire Beast Battalion? We just have to go in. If anyone dares to cross that fire pit, we will kill them without mercy." Qin Feng seemed to be talking about an insignificant matter, but he shocked the girls once again. Seeing that he had already moved, Violet Rain, Qin Xiu, and the others gritted their teeth and followed. The group of disciples on the other side of the fire pit didn't leave for a long time. Yang Su and a group of Blazing Sun sect disciples were also standing in the crowd. When everyone saw Qin Feng and the others walking towards the deepest part of the Fire Beast Battalion's base, the crowd instantly exploded. "Fuck! Where are they going?" It is said that there is an ancient giant beast hidden in the depths of the Fire Beast Battalion's base. Eating its meat can prolong one's lifespan, and drinking its blood can help one break through to the next realm. Could they be going to find the ancient giant beast? I have also heard of that legend. It is said that the ancient giant beast is incomparably violent. Does that brat really dare to take the risk? I want to see how he dies. When they heard everyone's discussion, the expressions of the Blazing Sun sect disciples changed drastically. They looked as if they wanted to rush up and stop Qin Feng's group. "Elder Yang Su, that brat wants to go to the Fire Beast Battalion's forbidden area. We must stop him," a disciple anxiously shouted. Yang Su glared at him and said, "Stop him? Who is going to stop him? If you want to stop him, then hurry up. Don't just stand here and babble." The disciple immediately shut his mouth. The other disciples lowered their heads and didn't dare to say anything else. The deep pit that Qin Feng had created was still burning. No one dared to step over it. Yang Su stared at the silhouettes of the few people that were gradually getting further away. He was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. After a long time, Yang Su suddenly asked the disciple beside him, "Is the vice sect leader still cultivating in seclusion inside?" The disciple hurriedly said, "Elder Hui Yang, it is because the vice sect leader Yang Gang is still cultivating in seclusion inside. That's why I boldly propose to stop that fellow with the surname Qiao. If we let them disturb the vice sect leader's cultivation, we won't be able to bear the consequences." Yang Su's sinister eyes stared at the distant in indeterminacy. "All of you have seen that brat's strength. Who can stop him? It's good that he went in. Let the vice sect leader Yang Gang teach him a lesson, and let him know the immensity of heaven and earth." Yang Su's words shocked the hearts of the Blazing Sun sect disciples. Although they had guessed that Qin Feng was stronger than Elder Yang Su, now that Yang Su had personally admitted it, the feeling was completely different. Qin Feng was only in his early 20s, but even the true Qi stage 7 elder, Yang Su, feared him. Just how strong was this brat? Qin Feng's group had already stepped into the depths of the Fire Beast Battalion. This was actually a forest. It was a completely different landscape from the yellow sand and scorching sun of Poison Sun City. The forest was gloomy, and it was surrounded by towering trees. Once Hua Xiaojin and the other girls entered the forest, they became nervous. Each of them gripped the weapons in their hands tightly, ready to fight at any time. Qin Feng was clearly much more relaxed. The environment here was similar to Devil Beast Mountain, so Qin Feng was not surprised. "Young Master Qiao, so those fire beasts outside all came out from this forest," Hua Xiaojin said in a suppressed voice. Along the way, everyone had encountered too many fire beasts in the forest. This forest seemed to be boundless. Who knew how many fire beasts had been bred here? Qin Xiu sighed. How many fire spirit stones are there? This is simply a fire spirit stone forest. This was also Violet Rain's first time entering this forest. If Qin Feng hadn't given each of their sects a fire spirit stone mountain, the girls would not have been able to resist hunting fire beasts. It was unknown if it was because of Qin Feng's blood demon armor, but the fire beasts in the forest did not take the initiative to attack them. Even if they accidentally bumped into each other, the fire beasts acted as if nothing had happened and did their own thing. After walking for a long time, they did not find anything out of the ordinary. In this huge forest, other than fire beasts, there seemed to be no other beasts, let alone the ancient giant beast that Qin Xiu mentioned. Young Master Qiao, I can't go on. Let's rest for a while. Hua Xiaojun had been injured in the battle with the fire beasts earlier. After rushing for an entire afternoon, she leaned against a large tree, sweating profusely. Qin Feng quickly fed her some blood qi pills. He looked at the other girls and said, seeing that everyone is tired and the sky is dark, let's rest here tonight. Let's recuperate and set off tomorrow. Qin Feng did not feel tired, but he had to take care of these girls. He took out some of the fire spirit stones he collected and prepared to cultivate for the night. The girls each found an empty space to sit down and took out their fire spirit stones to cultivate. With a pile of fire spirit stones, the surrounding temperature rose by quite a bit. The spirit energy within the fire spirit stones was very abundant. Qin Feng even set up a simple spirit gathering array. Everyone sat inside the array and circulated their qi together. In just a short moment, the density of the surrounding spirit energy increased by several folds. However, the spirit energy within the fire spirit stones was different from ordinary spirit stones. It had an intense yang aura. As more and more fire spirit energy entered Qin Feng's body and circulated, he felt hotter and hotter. Finally, he simply took off his clothes and continued cultivating. Time flew by, and after cultivating until the latter half of the night, Violet Rain let out a long breath of impure air. Her body had completed a major circulation path. She opened her eyes to look at her surroundings and was instantly attracted by Qin Feng's body. Violet Rain's charming face flushed red. She was wondering why Qin Feng had taken off his clothes while cultivating. She quickly understood the meaning behind it. After a slight hesitation, she called out to her 3 disciples and quietly walked over to Qin Feng's side. Who is it? Qin Feng suddenly felt someone hugging his waist. Just as he was about to slap her, he suddenly stopped. Violet Rain, what do you want? The 4 girls from Purple Cloud Mountain were frightened by Qin Feng's sudden reaction. Violet Rain quickly explained, Young Master Qiao, I want to serve you. Qin Feng was startled. He originally didn't want to do such things, but now that the 4 girls took the initiative to make such a request, and Qin Feng was someone who loved to help others, how could he refuse? Chapter 1427. Once again, Ziyu and the others deeply experienced Qin Feng's strength. They even sympathized with Hua Xiaojun. In the past, when Qin Feng fought with Hua Xiaojun, how did Hua Xiaojun, a single woman, manage to survive? This battle lasted from the latter half of the night until dawn. The 4 ladies were so tired that they laid on the ground. Qin Feng wore his clothes and stretched his body, appearing to be in high spirits. Young Master Qiao, why are you here? Hua Xiaojun suddenly ran over with a bunch of dragon fruit-shaped fruits in her arms. Ziyu and the other ladies were so tired that they were lying on the ground. They didn't even wear their clothes. Qin Feng said awkwardly, I was a little hungry after cultivating, so I walked around to see if there was anything to eat. Hua Xiaojun glanced at the 4 ladies lying on the side and pouted. Young Master Qiao, I discovered that you were missing early in the morning, so I specially went to pick some fruits for you. Quickly eat them. Hua Xiaojun had already noticed that Qin Feng was fooling around with the purple Sunset Mountain women, but she kept her grievances in her heart and didn't say anything. Qin Feng understood this lass's thoughts and pulled her into his embrace. Xiaojun, you eat some too. Just as he received the fruits that Hua Xiaojun picked, Qin Feng's expression changed. Xiaojun, where did you pick these fruits from? Hua Xiaojun was stunned. In the forest, I nearly lost my way and couldn't come out, "What's wrong, young Master Chiao? Is this fruit poisonous? Then you better not eat it." Hua Xiaojun had a worried expression and was afraid that Qin Fen would get sick from eating it. Qin Fen shook his head and said, "This fruit has rich spirit energy and a vigorous yang aura. It has similar effects to the fire spirit rock." These words stunned Hua Xiaojun. At this moment, Ziyu and the other ladies had also put on their clothes and walked over. "Young Master Chiao, I heard that the giant winged fire demon has a mystical fruit that can accelerate one's breakthrough after eating it. This fruit is usually eaten by the Fire Beast Battalion's fire beasts, which is why their bodies would condense the fire spirit rock." Ziyu's words made Qin Fen's eyes light up. He carefully felt the aura of the fruit in his hand. It was indeed similar to the fire spirit rock, but the spirit energy concentration and purity were not as good as the fire spirit rock. "Young Master Chiao, why did you abandon us?" Another 3 beautiful figures appeared, and delicate beauty rushed over with 2 disciples. When the 3 of them woke up, they realized that everyone was gone. They thought that Qin Feng had abandoned the Thousand Shadows sect to secretly take Hua Xiaojun and the people from Purple Cloud Mountain on a mission. "Don't worry, we're just looking for food. You guys came at the right time." Little Zhen found the area where the giant winged fire demon might appear. "Let's go take a look now." The Thousand Shadows sect disciple's expression changed. His delicate and pretty face took a fruit from Hua Xiaojun's arms and examined it closely. This is a fire demon fruit?" Seeing that Qin Xiu recognized the fruit, Qin Feng hurriedly asked, "What is a fire demon fruit?" "It is rumored that the fire devil tree is filled with fire devil fruits, and the fire beast and the fire beast battalion have been eating the fire devil fruits since they were young, allowing them to cultivate on their own. Their bodies even condensed fire spirit stones, and the area around the fire devil tree is where the colossal winged fire demon lives." If Violet Rain and Delicate Beauty had both mentioned this rumor, then it was likely that this rumor was true. Everyone didn't waste any more time and quickly headed towards the fire demon tree. Hua Xiaojun led the way, and she was the one who discovered the fire demon fruit. However, after walking into the depths of the forest, they were surrounded by towering trees, and their vision became dimmer and dimmer. Hua Xiaojun was lost. "Young Master Chiao, I can't find it. At that time, I didn't remember the way and just walked randomly." Hua Xiaojun was so anxious that her forehead was covered in sweat. Qin Feng hugged her in his arms and comforted her. "Don't worry, Xiaojun. Calm down and think about it. It's okay if you really can't think of it." Hua Xiaojun nodded and tried to look around. However, the scenery in the depths of the forest was exactly the same. She couldn't tell which direction was north, south, east, and west. "Young Master Chiao, I can be sure that I've been here before. At that time, I even peed under this tree." Hua Xiaojun moved closer to Qin Feng's ear and whispered. After she finished speaking, her little face was completely red. Qin Feng was almost amused by her appearance. "Then how long did you walk before you picked these fruits?" Hua Xiaojun thought for a moment and said, "Not too long, at most 20 minutes. Qin Feng nodded. 20 minutes wasn't too long. As long as they searched the surroundings, they would definitely find the fire demon tree. In order to speed up the search for the fire demon tree, Qin Feng split everyone into 3 groups. The 3 people from the Thousand Shadows sect searched the depths of the forest on the right, while Violet Rain led the disciples to the left. Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun continued forward. After the 2 walked for a while, Hua Xiaojun suddenly ran forward excitedly. "Young Master Chiao, I found it. It's that tall tree." Qin Feng already saw the large tree in front of him, and his eyes flashed with shock. That fire demon tree was as tall as the heavens, and he couldn't see the end of it. The trunk of the tree was also incomparably thick, and it looked like a villa standing there. The branches of the tree were lush, and the leaves were fiery red. When they swayed in the wind, they looked like burning flames. The fire demon tree was covered with fire demon fruits, and they shone like pieces of gold hanging on the tree. Perhaps it was the time for the fruits to ripen, so the ground was covered with a large circle of fruits. It was blinding. "Wow, young Master Chiao, There are hundreds of fire demon fruits on the ground. We're rich. Hua Xiaojin stood under the fire demon tree and cheered excitedly. Previously, she didn't know the effects of the fire demon fruits, but now that she knew eating them could speed up one's cultivation, she felt as if she had helped Qin Feng do something big. Roar, roar. At this moment, a few beasts roared angrily. Qin Feng's expression changed drastically, and he shot towards Hua Xiaojin. As soon as he reached the tree, Qin Feng casually grabbed at the air, and dozens of red spear lights shot out. The three fire beasts behind Hua Xiaojin died on the spot. Ah, Qiao, young master Qiao. Hua Xiaojin came to her senses, and she was so frightened that she fell into Qin Feng's arms. Qin Feng held the spear in one hand and held Hua Xiaojin's slender waist with the other. He looked around, and his expression instantly became serious. Xiaojin, hide in the tree. Qin Feng's deep voice sounded. Hua Xiaojin had already discovered the situation, and she was so frightened that her eyes almost fell to the ground. She didn't know when, but they were surrounded by hundreds and thousands of fire beasts, and there were even more fire beasts rushing towards them from all directions. Young Master Qiao, Xiaojin, don't go up the tree. Xiaojin wants to fight to the death with you. Hua Xiaojin's expression quickly turned cold, and she had already drawn the violet sunset sword from her back. How could Qin Feng let her go? He pushed her lightly, and Hua Xiaojin's slender body landed on the fire demon tree. Roar, roar. Almost at the same time, dozens of fire beasts suddenly attacked. Qin Feng stood under the gigantic fire demon tree alone with his spear. The open space was rapidly shrinking, and it was being crossed by the fire beasts. Rumble. A huge explosion erupted from Qin Feng's body, and his bright red blood demon armor glowed red. A mysterious blood flowed within the armor, and a strange aura drifted out. Furious roars shook the heavens, and the first wave of fire beasts had already rushed to Qin Feng's feet. Hua Xiaojin was restless on the tree, and just as she was about to jump down and fight to the death with Qin Feng, she was shocked to find that the fire beasts had suddenly frozen in place. The pure spirit blood of a super magical beast in the blood demon armor had been completely activated, and the bloodline symbolized the existence of an ancient magical beast. These fire beasts were only rank 2 magical beasts, and in front of Qin Feng, it was as if they had encountered their ancestor. The roars gradually stopped, and at this moment, there were thousands of fire beasts gathered under the gigantic fire demon tree. These magical beasts had lifeless expressions, as if they were puppets whose souls had been sucked out. Such a spectacular scene made Hua Xiaojin's jaw drop. Young Master Qiao. A few beautiful figures descended. It was Ziyu and the other pretty girls. They had also heard the roars of the fire beasts and had rushed over. At this moment, when they stood behind Qin Feng and looked at the surrounding scene, they were all dumbfounded. All of you, climb up the tree as well. I can sense that the giant winged fire demon is nearby. Qin Feng's voice was extremely grave. He discovered that there were 2 extremely powerful auras hidden nearby. One of them was the aura he had discovered when he had first entered the Fire Beast Battalion. The other was an even more berserk aura of the beast race. All the girls were shocked, and they hurriedly hid in the fire demon tree. It wasn't that they were afraid of death and left Qin Feng to take the risk. It was just that the array of thousands of fire beasts was too shocking. Even if Qing Xiu and the others attacked, they would definitely die. It was very likely that they would become Qin Feng's burden. The thousands of fire beasts did not attack. They had all been subdued by the super magical beast blood and the blood demon armor. However, an angry roar suddenly came from the forest in the distance. The roar shook the heavens and the earth, causing the forest to shake. The gigantic fire demon tree swayed, and all the fire demon fruits on the tree fell to the ground. It was as if it was raining fire demon fruits. Roar! The angry roar in the distance startled the thousands of fire beasts awake. Their dull eyes lit up, and their huge eyes were bloodshot. They opened their bloody mouths and pounced toward Qin Feng. Young Master Qiao. The girls on the tree cried out anxiously, but Qin Feng had already turned into a black shadow and disappeared into the distance. However, his voice still echoed in the same place. All of you stay on the tree and wait for me to return. Swish! Two balls of fire flickered in and out of existence in the sky. The group of fire beasts chased after Qin Feng in a frenzy. A beam of golden light suddenly fell from the sky, and a several hundred-meter-long saber chief fell to the ground. It instantly created a deep ravine and blew the group of fire beasts into pieces. Roar! Qin Feng had purposely swung this saber to completely infuriate the group of fire beasts. They all chased after Qin Feng and left the area of the fire demon tree. This time, Hua Xiaojin and the others were temporarily safe. As they flew, the two balls of fire flickered in and out of existence in the forest. The group of fire beasts could not keep up with the speed of the golden whirlwind. Qin Feng even slowed down from time to time, deliberately waiting for the fire beasts to catch up. Rumble! Qin Feng didn't know where he had run to, but a gust of wind suddenly rose behind him. The group of fire beasts roared at the sky as if they had gone mad. They stopped running and uniformly knelt in a row, worshipping the direction behind Qin Feng. Chapter 1428. Rumble. The moment the enormous creature landed, the ground immediately sank into a huge pit. Cracks appeared on the ground within a radius of 100 meters, extending as if there was no end to them. Gravel flew in all directions, dust filled the air, and rows of towering trees fell to the ground one after another. Qin Feng flew through the air on his golden wheel. This was not the first time he had encountered a magical beast. He even commanded the beasts of Devil Beast Mountain and created 4 spiritual beast battle pets for himself. However, he was still stunned by the enormous creature in front of him. This enormous beast was over 6 meters tall and over 2 meters wide. Its entire body was fiery red, as if there were flames burning within it. It stood on all fours like a human, and 2 pairs of enormous wings grew from its back, flapping from time to time. Roar, roar! The enormous beast suddenly roared angrily after it landed and leaped into the air. The wings on its back spread wide, as if covering the sky and covering the sun. It instantly collided with Qin Feng. A loud sound exploded high in the air. This collision was extremely violent. Qin Feng's body swayed in the air like a kite with a broken string. He felt as if he had been hit by a speeding train. He fell all the way from the sky and finally collided with a towering tree. The enormous tree trunk crashed to the ground and sank into a huge pit. Bang, bang, bang. Loud noises sounded continuously all around him. Qin Feng felt as if his internal organs were about to be spat out. At this moment, his body was shining with a golden light. Fortunately, he put on the golden rock sovereign armor at the critical moment. Otherwise, he really would have been smashed to death by that enormous beast. Little pig, what kind of monster is that? Qin Feng hurriedly poured a handful of medicinal pills into his mouth. Little pig's voice was urgent. Master, this is a giant winged fire demon, a rank 6 fire-type magical beast. It's comparable to a martial artist at the 8th stage of true Qi. However, as a super magical beast, the giant winged fire demon's defense is astonishing. Its explosive power is ferocious, and its fighting strength is very long. It's definitely much stronger than a martial artist at the 8th stage of true Qi. Little Pig's introduction made Qin Feng's heart sink. He had only stepped into the 6th stage of true Qi, and when he used his full strength, he could kill a rank 7 martial artist. However, when he encountered a rank 8 martial artist, he couldn't fight with just his martial cultivation unless he used Star Tech battle equipment. Now that a super magical beast that was even more ferocious than a martial artist at the 8th stage of true Qi had appeared, Qin Feng was truly stumped. Roar! The gigantic winged fire demon didn't give Qin Feng any chance to catch his breath. Just as Qin Feng was thinking of a countermeasure, he suddenly felt as if black clouds covered the sun above his head. The enormous beast spread its wings, and in the blink of an eye, it was about to land again. Rumble! With a loud explosion, the grassland was trampled into ruins. Two balls of fire flew above the beast's head. Qin Feng was almost trampled to death by this super magical beast. The thousands of fire beasts that were chasing after Qin Feng suddenly went berserk. They attacked Qin Feng ferociously like members of a suicide squad. When they opened their mouths, they could spit out huge fireballs. For a moment, the sky was filled with a rain of fire, and it looked like it was going to burn the sky. Swish, swish, swish. Qin Feng darted through the rain of fire. His body brushed past the fireballs, and he hovered between life and death time and time again. Master, we can't go on like this. Hurry up and use the Star Tech battle armor. Little Pig shouted anxiously. Duan Yu, Golden Fur Lion King, and the others also requested to step forward. Qin Feng didn't release the heroes. They had all been heavily injured recently, so there wasn't much point in releasing them. Qin Feng's thoughts moved slightly, and a silver cannon that was half the height of a person was mounted on his waist. This wind and cloud wild demon cannon had two muzzles, and it could be fired at the same time. Qin Feng turned around and aimed at the densely packed black dots on the ground, and directly fired. Ta-ta-ta. For a moment, true energy bullets fell like raindrops. Many of the bullets collided with the fireballs that soared into the sky and exploded in midair. Even more bullets hit the ground, and the group of fire bees screamed in pain from the explosions. Seeing this situation, the giant winged fire demon suddenly roared toward the sky. The fleshy wings on its back flapped vigorously, and it instantly turned into a black shadow and shot over. This fire beast's speed was too fast. Even Qin Feng couldn't dodge with his golden whirlwind wheel. With a loud bang, he was once again smashed into a huge pit. Rumble. As soon as he landed, the winged beast in midair opened its mouth, and a huge fireball that was like a dark cloud flew down. Qin Feng spat out 2 mouthfuls of blood and immediately slapped the air with his palm. Bang, bang, bang. A wall of ice condensed above Qin Feng's head. When a fireball hit the wall, it sounded like a metal hammer hitting the wall. Cracks quickly appeared on the hard layer of ice, and it was about to explode into pieces. Rumble. The instant the ice wall exploded, the fireball ignited the pit. However, Qin Feng was no longer in the pit. In the depths of the forest, there was a speeding black shadow, scaring the group of fire beasts into roaring. Qin Feng drove the Black Dragon War Chariot at full speed. The chariot skylight, doors, and bottom were all wide open. More than a dozen laser guns and 2 anti-aircraft cannons were ready. It was clearly the first time the group of fire beasts had seen something like the Black Dragon War Chariot. However, they only froze in place for a few seconds and then immediately rushed toward Qin Feng. Not only did Qin Feng not run, but he also did a 180-degree drift and aimed the chariot at the group of fire beasts. Next to the anti-aircraft cannons on the roof of the chariot, a wind cloud mad demon cannon appeared. He stepped on the accelerator, and the Black Dragon War Chariot surged forward like an awakened beast. Roar, roar, roar. Seeing the chariot speeding toward them, the group of fire beasts roared again and again. Under the command of the giant winged fire demon, their eyes were all blood red, and they rushed toward the chariot like death servants. The sky full of fireballs had already fallen, smashing the Black Dragon War Chariot into a mess. However, this chariot produced by Star Technology was incomparably sturdy. Those fireballs couldn't even ignite the chariot, let alone blow it up. The distance of several hundred meters was covered in a few breaths under the ferocious charge of both sides. The chariot was like a ferocious tiger descending a mountain, knocking dozens of fire beasts into the air. Without waiting for these fire beasts to land on the ground, the wind cloud mad demon cannon on the roof of the chariot displayed its might. True chi bullets filled the sky, and it looked like it was going to hit the fire beasts all the way to heaven. Ta-ta-ta. The laser guns on both sides of the chariot also fired. For a moment, the red laser bullets shuttled among the fire beasts, and many fire beasts suddenly fell to the ground halfway. The anti-aircraft cannons at the bottom of the chariot also shot out a blue light, which condensed into a beam of light and shot out, cutting the row of dozens of fire beasts in half. The battle had only just begun, but it was abnormally fierce. Those fire beasts should have turned tail and fled in fear under this fierce artillery attack, but the giant winged fire demon circling in the sky didn't leave. These fire beasts also fought with their lives on the line against Qin Feng. No matter how fierce the black dragon chariot was, it couldn't withstand the group attack of thousands of fire beasts. Halfway through the battle, the chariot was full of holes from the flames that filled the sky and the impact of the fire beasts. Its original appearance was already unrecognizable. The laser cannons on both sides were pulled out by the fire beasts, and the anti-aircraft cannons at the bottom of the chariot had their muzzles broken after flipping a few times. Only the wind cloud mad demon cannon on the roof was still firing, and the group of fire beasts had already leaped onto the roof of the chariot in an attempt to destroy the cannon. Master, we need to immediately retrieve the black dragon chariot for repair. Otherwise, the chariot will be completely scrapped. At this crucial moment, Little Pig's voice came. Qin Feng was so anxious that his forehead was covered in sweat. He had used this black dragon chariot to kill many powerful martial artists, but he didn't expect to fall at the hands of these magic beasts today. Boom boom. Qin Feng stepped on the gas pedal to the ground. He didn't dare to continue fighting. The tail of the black dragon chariot shot out 2 balls of green light, and it instantly turned into a sharp arrow that shot out. The fire beasts that blocked the way were knocked into the sky one after another. The black dragon chariot's head was also smashed into a mess. The originally domineering appearance was now like a pile of scrap metal. After a series of rampage, Qin Feng finally rushed out of the beast horde. However, there were still 3 fire beasts on the roof of the chariot. They were madly smashing the cannons and frames on the roof. These fire beasts were all rank 2 magic beasts. The power of their fists was extremely ferocious. The entire black dragon chariot swayed continuously. Little bastard, get out of my way. Qin Feng gritted his teeth in anger. He looked at the black dragon chariot that was already beyond recognition. His heart was bleeding. He stepped on the brakes as hard as he could, and the speeding chariot suddenly did a beautiful drift. Under the intense inertia, 2 fire beasts were flung into the air. Qin Feng turned around and slapped the last fire beast with a fire blade, sending it flying as well. The chariot resumed its journey. The fire beasts behind it were left further and further behind. They had already become a pile of black dots. Just as Qin Feng let out a long sigh of relief, a ball of fire landed on the roof of the chariot and blasted the black dragon chariot into the air. Whoosh! In the air, the chariot suddenly disappeared. The 2 balls of fire flickered unsteadily. Qin Feng stepped on the golden wheel and soared into the sky. He looked at the colossal winged fire demon that was rapidly chasing behind him. He was extremely anxious. This super magic beast's speed was really too fast. In the instant it opened its mouth, a large ball of fire rushed out. Behind Qin Feng, a strong wind blew in all directions. It was as if he was exposed to the scorching sun. Seeing that the fire demon was already close, Qin Feng turned from retreat to attack. He turned around and slashed down with his blade. Rumble! A golden blade aura that was several hundred meters long seemed to fall from the sky. He used the full power of the Golden Phoenix to instantly kill a rank 6 True Chi expert. Even a rank 7 True Chi expert would not dare to face it head-on. However, the colossal winged fire demon did not retreat at all. Instead, it increased its speed and charged forward. The violent blade aura exploded countless times on its body. However, not a single blade mark was left on the fire demon's skin. It let out an angry roar. Instantly, a gust of wind rushed forward and knocked Qin Feng down from the sky. Rumble! The colossal winged fire demon landed at almost the same time as Qin Feng. The moment its feet touched the ground, the mountain forest shook. Qin Feng had already stepped on the golden wheel and retreated to the side. However, he was still shaken by the aftershock. When he stabilized his body, the colossal winged fire demon's long arm had already swept over. Bang, bang, bang. It was unknown how violent that palm was. Wherever the arm passed, the air exploded continuously. Qin Feng retreated continuously. With great difficulty, he found an opportunity to catch his breath. His large hand pierced through the air. Instantly, thousands of red spear auras shot out in front of him. It had the imposing manner of piercing through the sky. Stab, stab, stab. Chapter 1429. The moment the spear light collided with the fire demon's body, it was as if thousands of meteors had fallen on its body. The loud sound was earth-shattering. Although it couldn't pierce through the fire demon, its huge body was knocked back. With every step it took back, the forest shook. Along the way, it left behind dozens of huge, deep footprints. Roar, roar. The fire demon roared angrily at the sky. After stabilizing its body, it charged forward again. Qin Feng's spear attack was extremely violent, but from the fire demon's reaction, it didn't seem to have suffered much damage. Clang! Qin Feng stepped on the golden wheel and left the ground. The ground under his feet instantly cracked. He leaped onto the fire demon's head and swung his spear again. Instantly, the spear light shot out like arrows and hit the fire demon's head like raindrops. The fire demon seemed to feel the pain. It hugged its head and roared at Qin Feng. It opened its mouth and shot out several balls of fire. Rumble! The sky seemed to be ignited. Qin Feng hurriedly raised his spear and dodged. He flew quickly around the giant winged fire demon. Compared to the fire demon's huge body, he was like a small flying insect. The giant winged fire demon swatted a few times but didn't hurt Qin Feng. It became impatient. The huge wings on its back flapped vigorously. Suddenly, a gust of wind appeared out of nowhere. The wind was mixed with a violent force. It was as if a stage 8 true Qi expert had unleashed the power of a palm. Qin Feng was like a small boat in the sea in the strong wind. The golden wheel under his feet dimmed. His speed was clearly reduced. It was even difficult to control the direction of the wind. The fire demon swatted again. It was like Buddha's golden palm that sent him flying. Rumble! The moment he landed, it was as if a bomb had exploded. A row of trees collapsed one after another. Qin Feng's golden rock celestial armor made a messy sound as if it was about to split open. This slap made him dizzy. He couldn't help but spit out a few mouthfuls of blood. Little Pig and the heroes were already shouting anxiously in his mind. Master, you can't beat this super demon. You should hurry and run. Little Pig was jumping around anxiously in the system. A mere little beast dares to hurt my master. Master, let Golden Fur Lion King out. Master. Qin Feng had a splitting headache and couldn't hear their shouts at all. The gigantic winged fire demon flew in pursuit. When it stood in front of Qin Feng, its enormous body seemed to cover the sky and cover the sun, blocking the sky above Qin Feng. Roar! The fire beast raised its head to the sky and roared, sounding somewhat excited. It suddenly raised its leg as if it wanted to end Qin Feng's life. Qin Feng found it hard to escape the giant winged fire demon's enormous foot. Just as he was thinking of a countermeasure, the golden rock's celestial armor on his body let out an angry cry. 3 golden pungs soared into the sky. Each of them spread their enormous wings, and their bodies were several meters long. They smashed into the flame beast's body. A burst of chaotic sounds exploded in Qin Feng's ears, and the violent air currents once again sent him flying dozens of meters away. Under the impact of the golden rock's aura, the giant winged fire demon took several steps back, and it looked like it was about to fall to the ground. However, it quickly steadied its body, and with a furious roar, it swung its huge iron wall through the air. In an instant, the 3 golden rocks were cut in half at the waist, and the berserk true energy surged and exploded. Rumble! The area where the fire demon stood was turned into ruins. The trees were bombarded, and the grass was crushed. When the dust settled, the fire demon was already standing upright on the ground. The fiery red color on its body was even more obvious, as if flames were burning on the surface of its skin. Its large bell-like eyes were bloodshot, and its huge mouth was wide open as it roared at Qin Feng in the distance. Rumble! This time, the fire demon spat out a pillar of fire from its mouth. It was like a fire dragon shooting toward Qin Feng. Wherever the pillar of fire passed, everything was burned to ashes. It was as powerful as Qin Feng's destructive flames. 2 balls of fire flashed and disappeared. Qin Feng had just shot into the air when the ground under his feet was turned into ruins. It made Qin Feng feel a lingering fear. "You bastard, you've completely angered me. Just wait to die." Qin Feng flew around in the sky, and a raging fire burned in his heart. Up until now, he hadn't used his true trump card. Originally, he wanted to subdue this super demonic beast for his own use. But looking at the situation before him, even the pure spirit blood in the blood demon armor couldn't control it. Subduing this demonic beast was easier said than done. Another few balls of fire shot into the sky. Qin Feng flew back and forth in the flames and was almost engulfed by the flames a few times. The golden wheel under his feet suddenly disappeared, and his figure also disappeared from the sky. When he reappeared, there was a roar of an engine in the air. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. There was a sudden gust of wind, and a black shadow flew out from the flames. At this moment, Qin Feng was sitting in the control room of the Black Dragon mech. He pushed the accelerator to the bottom, and the tail of the mech shot out 2 beams of green light. It flew through the sky like a meteor. The giant winged fire demon, which was roaring wildly on the ground, suddenly stopped. It stared at the Black Dragon mech flying high in the sky with its huge eyes, and a look of confusion flashed in its eyes. Just as it was in a daze, the hatch at the bottom of the mech suddenly opened, and 2 tracking missiles descended from the sky. Rumble! The missiles landed and accurately exploded on the giant winged fire demon. The fire demon didn't even dodge or evade, and just stared blankly at the flames. However, this time, it realized the power of the tracking missiles. They were much more powerful than Qin Feng's Rainbow Demon Storm Spear. The instant the 2 tracking missiles exploded, the gigantic fire demon was sent flying to the ground. Roar, roar. The fire demon's furious roar shook the forest. Without waiting for it to get up, Qin Feng fired another 2 tracking missiles. 2 trails of white smoke appeared in the air. The tracking missiles were so fast that they exploded around the fire demon in an instant. Rumble! This wave of explosion blasted the giant winged fire demon into the air, but Qin Feng didn't fire any more tracking missiles. That thing cost 10,000 Hedonist points each, and it was simply too expensive. However, the right hatch of the Black Dragon mech suddenly opened, and the wind and cloud mad demon cannon stretched out. True energy bullets rained down from the sky. Ta-ta-ta! The true energy bullets continuously hit the fire demon's body. Qin Feng had already hovered the Black Dragon mech in the air, and the fire demon was dozens of meters away from him. Under the fierce attack of the true energy bullets, the giant winged fire demon was continuously shaken, and it couldn't fall for a while. Ta-ta-ta! Qin Feng threw a dozen or so high-grade spirit stones into the wind and cloud-mad demon cannon, and the firepower instantly increased by several times. However, that super demon's defense was frighteningly strong. The true energy bullets hitting its body seemed to be tickling it. After fighting for a while, the giant winged fire demon suddenly came to its senses. It opened its huge mouth and spat out a long flame dragon. The flame dragon was extremely fast. Before Qin Feng could fly the Black Dragon mech away, the entire mech was engulfed in flames. The temperature in the cockpit instantly skyrocketed, and Qin Feng jumped up from the heat. Right now, he didn't dare to touch any of the machinery in the cockpit. The temperature was definitely over 100 degrees, and a slight touch could cause blisters to form on his skin. Master, that giant beast's flames are too strong. The Black Dragon mech is about to melt. Little Pig's anxious voice came over. Qin Feng was shocked. This was the Black Dragon series of Star Tech battle equipment, and it was obvious how strong the flames of the giant beast were. The situation was extremely urgent. Qin Feng hurriedly activated his will, and a layer of extreme ice immediately covered his body. He sat down again and flew the Black Dragon mech away. The places where his body touched the machinery emitted a sizzling sound, and the extreme ice was melted by the temperature of the flames. Master, you used the Black Dragon Chariot not long ago and the Black Dragon Mech just now. You spent a total of 100,000 Hedonist points on ammunition. Now, the Black Dragon Mech is severely damaged and needs to be immediately placed in the system's 1,000 treasure pavilion to be repaired. Little Pig quickly explained the current situation. Qin Feng's heart bled. In just a short half an hour, he had wasted another 100,000 Hedonist points. Even if he wanted to continue using tracking missiles to attack the giant winged fire demon, it was too late. The tail of the Black Dragon Mech was already emitting thick black smoke, and it looked like it was going to crash at any time. Qin Feng had just escaped the range of the fire dragon when he willed the Black Dragon Mech to be returned to the system. He stepped on the golden whirlwind wheel again and soared into the sky. At this point in the battle, Qin Feng had used up almost all of his trump cards, and his body was riddled with wounds. Although he still had a Black Dragon tank, he believed that even if he used it, he might not be able to take down this super demon. If the fire demon destroyed the Black Dragon tank, then Qin Feng wouldn't even have a place to cry. Roar, roar, roar. Seeing the mech disappearing in the sky, the giant winged fire demon suddenly raised its head and roared in excitement. It could be seen that it was also afraid of the Black Dragon mech's tracking missiles. Under the bombardment of those 4 missiles, the fire demon had suffered serious internal injuries. Now that he no longer had the support of star technology, Qin Feng didn't want to fight the giant winged fire demon head-on. Just as he was about to step on the golden whirlwind wheel and leave, he saw a white shadow rapidly approaching. Before he could react, a violent wave of true qi knocked him to the ground. This old man has been staring at this fire demon for a long time, but I never had the confidence to defeat it. Who would have thought that you would help this old man today? Don't worry, after I kill this bastard, I'll give you a quick death and leave your corpse intact. A burst of wild laughter came from the ground. Qin Feng climbed out of the pit with difficulty and saw an old man wearing a white robe standing in front of him. The old man's aura was strong. It was the same aura he felt when he first stepped into the Fire Beast Battalion. Who are you? Qin Feng gritted his teeth and asked. The old man looked at him indifferently. He didn't care about Qin Feng at all. It was as if Qin Feng was a dead man. I am the deputy sect leader of the Blazing Sun sect, Yanggang. This is the forbidden area of the Fire Beast Battalion. If you dare to barge in, you will die sooner or later. Qin Feng guessed that this person was most likely the deputy sect leader of the Blazing Sun sect. He heard that this old man had long stepped into true Qi Stage 8. Even when Qin Feng was at his peak, it would not be easy to defeat him. Furthermore, he was injured in the battle with the fire demon, and only the Black Dragon tank was left of the Star Technology battle equipment. Yanggang's appearance had completely disrupted Qin Feng's plans. Now, he couldn't leave even if he wanted to. Fortunately, Yanggang wasn't in a hurry to attack him. He probably felt that he was no threat at all. At this moment, Yanggang was already looking at the giant winged fire demon opposite him. His old eyes flickered. Rumor has it that eating the meat of a fire demon can extend one's lifespan, and drinking its blood can increase one's cultivation rapidly. Is this true or false? Today, let this old man be the witness. Chapter 1430. The gigantic winged fire demon, who was staring at Qin Feng, suddenly looked at Yanggang. Its eyes were filled with rage, and with a roar, it spread its wings and flew away. The speed of its enormous wings was as fast as sword light, and it seemed to cross a distance of tens of meters in an instant. Its enormous feet hovered in midair, blocking out the sunlight above Yanggang's head. Oomph! A mere beast! Get out of my way! Yanggang suddenly made a move, punching the air. A huge fist imprint quickly condensed in midair, colliding with the bottom of the fire demon's feet and instantly exploding. This punch shook the heavens and the earth. Even Qin Feng, who was lying 100 meters away, felt the air tremble. The seemingly invincible gigantic winged fire demon's body suddenly stopped in midair. Yang Gang took advantage of this gap to leap onto the fire demon's head and fiercely stomped on its hard back. Rumble! A huge sound reached the heavens, and Yang Gang used the force to flip back 100 meters. The fire demon's enormous body fell to the ground, and the entire mountain forest shook, creating a huge, deep pit. Qin Feng had long been dumbfounded. Yang Gang was worthy of being a level 8 true Qi expert, and his strength was unfathomable. The gigantic winged fire demon stood up, and only half of its body was exposed above the ground. It suddenly flapped the wings on its back and charged into the sky, and its intimidating roar filled the air. Its enormous body circled in midair for a moment, and after finding Yang Gang's position, it quickly shot over. Roar, roar. The instant it opened its mouth, a fire dragon shot out. Even Yang Gang, who was at level 8 true Qi, had a change in expression. His feet moved quickly, and he shuttled through the mountain forest, not daring to face the fire dragon's might head-on. The gigantic winged fire demon chased all the way, and its speed was much faster than Yang Gang's. Seeing that he couldn't escape, Yang Gang's expression turned cold, and he turned around and punched. The huge fist imprint rose into the air and actually blocked the fire dragon midway. The flames all condensed on the fist imprint, trying to break through this true Qi barrier. After clashing for a full 10 seconds, there was a huge explosion in the air. The fist imprint dissipated, and the flames also scattered everywhere. Bastard die! Yang Gang once again seized the opportunity and turned into a black shadow. First, he punched out. The huge fist imprint was unstoppable and destroyed all the obstacles in front of him. When a masculine figure arrived above the huge winged fire demon, he pulled out a saber from his back and swung it down, instantly tearing through the air. Loud explosions rang out incessantly, but the giant winged fire demon stood its ground, not retreating at all. It looked up to the sky and roared. Suddenly, it swung its huge iron arm toward the sky. The fist mark that was coming at it was torn apart by the fire demon's claw. Then, the falling blade aura exploded on its right arm, leaving dozens of bloody wounds on the fire demon's arm. Bang! The fist mark and saber chi had only injured the fire demon, but in the end, they hadn't been able to stop the power of its claw. The huge hand smacked his masculine chest, and he felt as if he had been hit by a speeding plane. A white figure swayed in the wind. Even Yang Gang could not withstand the giant winged fire demon's violence. He spat out several mouthfuls of blood in midair, and the moment he landed on the ground, dust flew everywhere. Roar! The giant winged fire demon did not give Yang Gang a chance to catch his breath. It ignored the bleeding huge arm and flew away. The ground shook as it ran. After a few breaths, the fire demon leaped up, and its huge feet landed ferociously on the ground. Boom! The flat ground was stomped into a huge crater, and gravel and dust flew into the sky. Yang Gang disappeared in the dust, causing the giant winged fire demon to roar angrily. Whoosh! The faint sound of the wind was covered by the angry roar. Yang Gang's figure had landed behind the fire demon at some point. The large saber in his hand pointed to the sky, and just as he was about to strike, Qin Feng's yell came from the distance. Big monster, behind. Qin Feng's yell scared Yang Gang to the point that he couldn't strike with the long saber in his hand. At this moment, he was less than 2 meters away from the giant winged fire demon. It was supposed to be a sneak attack, but the fire demon suddenly turned around. When Yang Gang looked up at the other party's tall and sturdy body, he felt an indescribable fear. Stinking brat, you're looking for death. Yang Gang was so angry that he cursed. Halfway through his yell, a loud sound exploded on his body. The fire demon's palm seemed to have swatted away a mosquito, and Yang Gang's internal organs shifted positions. His sneak attack failed, and he was hit instead. At this moment, Yang Gang felt stifled. He wanted to kill Qin Feng and chop him into pieces. However, the giant winged fire demon had its eyes on him and chased closely. It didn't give him any chance to catch his breath. The trees around the battlefield had collapsed, and there were sparks of fire burning in the huge crater. There seemed to be a big battle with firearms here. The shocking scene was frightening. Yongang's speed was not as fast and fierce as the fire demons. Running wasn't an option. Fortunately, his body was more agile, and he could always land behind the fire demon and launch a sneak attack. However, every time his sneak attack failed, Qin Feng would remind the fire demon. This way, it was as if the fire demon had eyes all over its body, and Yonggang had nowhere to hide. Bang, bang, bang. Loud sounds came from all directions. That was the sound of the fire demon sending Yonggang flying again and again. Yonggang was worthy of being a true Qi Stage 8 expert. His defense was also astonishing. Under the fire demon's fierce attacks, he could still use his Qi to fight. However, his speed of escaping and attacking had clearly slowed down. Even if a few attacks landed on the fire demon's body, they only pushed it back a few steps and were unable to cause any substantial damage. Stinking brat, you dare trick me? Do you know who I am? Yonggang couldn't take it anymore and angrily roared at Qin Feng. At this time, Qin Feng's body had recovered quite a bit of true Qi. He shouted at him indifferently. Of course I know who you are. Aren't you the Fierce Sun Sect's vice sect leader? I forgot to tell you, I suppressed Yang Su not long ago, so there's already enmity between your Fierce Sun Sect and me. After Yonggang understood the situation, he was even more furious. Only now did he realize that Qin Feng was purposely tricking him. You stinking brat. Even if I die today, I'll drag you down with me. A white shadow shot over. Yonggang stopped fighting with the giant winged fire demon and suddenly slashed at Qin Feng with his blade. A loud sound exploded on the ground, and a 5-meter-wide hole appeared on the ground where Qin Feng was sitting. Seeing that his blade had missed, Yonggang was so angry that he blew his beard and glared. When he raised his head to look at the sky, his expression immediately changed. Stab, stab, stab. Qin Feng stood on the golden wheel and floated in the air. With a thrust of his spear, thousands of red spear lights condensed in front of him. Those long spears shot down like sharp arrows. Yonggang flew quickly on the ground, but he was still hit by a few spear lights, and a few bloody wounds immediately appeared on his body. Now, there was the fire demon in front and Qin Feng behind. Yonggang's sullen body was about to explode. He suddenly leaped into the air, and his fists fell down like phantoms. The fierce fist prints were as dense as rain, exploding half the air. Boom, boom, boom. This fierce attack was incomparably fierce, and Qin Feng didn't even have the thought of facing head-on. 2 balls of fire flickered, and the ground he was standing on was instantly blasted into ruins. On the other hand, the giant winged fire demon didn't reject anything that came his way. This time, it forcefully swatted with its palm. The hundreds of palm prints exploded on its body, and its palm also slapped Yonggang's face. Rumble. The sound of explosions rang out incessantly, as if the entire forest was going to be blown to the ground. Even though the fire beast's body was incomparably hard, it still fell to the ground under Yonggang's explosive attack. Yonggang was in an even worse state. When the fire beast's large palm intimately touched his small face, he felt as if his head almost flew off his neck. The turbulent air currents sent him flying hundreds of meters away. After he fell to the ground, he didn't even have the strength to stand up. That fierce battlefield finally calmed down. Only Qin Feng was left standing on the ground, like an immortal, lofty mountain. The giant winged fire demon's enormous body twitched on the ground, and blood flowed like a river from its mouth. On the other side, Yonggang continuously poured medicinal pills in his mouth and started to circulate his qi to adjust the chaotic true energy in his body. Whoosh! A gust of wind suddenly blew. When Yonggang raised his head, he discovered that Qin Feng was standing on 2 balls of fire and hovering in the air above his head. After a great battle, Qin Feng's face was covered in dirt, and his long hair was in a mess. However, the golden rock heavenly sovereign armor on his body shone brightly, and it was so bright that Yonggang could barely open his eyes. What are you trying to do, brat? I'll give you a way out. Now hurry up and scram. Yang Gang had no confidence in his heart, but he forcefully pretended to be arrogant and roared at Qin Feng. However, just as he roared, he saw hundreds of red spear lights flying down like sharp arrows. He really wanted to dodge, but he was powerless. In the end, he exploded into pieces under the power of the spear lights. Whoosh! As soon as Yang Gang died, Qin Feng directly fell from the sky and fell to the ground. That spear attack had exhausted the last bit of true energy in his body. Originally, the 1,000-on spear shadow could only shoot out 100 or so. However, Yang Gang's injuries were even more serious than Qin Feng's. Otherwise, how could that spear attack kill an expert at the 8th level of true energy? This huge battle was finally over. Qin Feng rested on the ground for a while, and a few black shadows flashed over from afar. Just as he raised his guard, he saw Hua Xiaojun landing beside him with a face full of tears. "Whoa, young Master Qiao, are you okay? Xiaojun doesn't want anything to happen to you." Seeing Hua Xiaojun cry like a child, Qin Feng hugged her tightly in his arms. This battle had been a narrow escape from death, and he had almost never seen Hua Xiaojun again. Someone died over there? Qin Xiu discovered the explosion of Yang Gang. Qin Feng casually said, "Fierce Sun Sect's vice sect leader Yang Gang is already dead." All the girls were suddenly stunned and looked at Qin Feng in disbelief. They had all heard of Yang Gang's great name. He was an expert at the 8th level of true energy, and he was actually killed by Qin Feng. The shock of Yang Gang's death had not yet subsided when Violet Rain cried out again, what is that thing over there?" Violet Rain pointed at the gigantic winged fire demon. At this time, the fire demon was curled up into a ball, and its body was covered in bloody scars. At first glance, it really didn't look like anything. That's the gigantic winged fire demon. The legends you heard are true, Qin Feng said. All the girls were stunned again, as if this was the first time they had met Qin Feng. Although they had seen Qin Feng's strength before, Qin Feng's strength had given them a deeper shock. Chapter 1431. The girls couldn't come back to their senses for a long time. They felt like everything in front of them was a dream. The giant winged fire demon that was lying on the side suddenly let out a low howl, scaring the girls awake immediately. "Not good. That super demonic beast is about to recover. Let's kill it while it's at its weakest," Qin Xiu said as she drew her sword. However, she was pulled back by Qin Feng. "Don't kill that fire demon first. Let me see if I can subdue it." Qin Feng's words shocked everyone. That was the legendary giant winged fire demon. It was full of demonic nature and had a violent nature. How could it be subdued? However, under the girls' shocked gazes, Qin Feng had already walked to the fire demon's side. The giant winged fire demon sensed Qin Feng's aura and suddenly let out an angry roar. However, it seemed to be heavily injured. It struggled to stand up, but after a few attempts, it still fell to the ground. "Little baby, don't be afraid. Master has no ill intentions. Follow Master, okay?" Qin Feng's voice became soft. He sounded like a strange uncle trying to trick a little girl into giving him a lollipop. Hua Xiaojun and the girls fell to the ground. They couldn't see Qin Feng, who killed the Blazing Sun Sect's vice sect master, and this Qin Feng, who was pretending to be cute, as the same person. The giant winged fire demon seemed to be disgusted by Qin Feng. It roared at him and spat on the ground. This giant beast could swallow a cow with its mouth, and its saliva could fill an entire bathtub. Qin Feng didn't care about this. He activated the pure spirit blood in the blood demon armor. At the same time, he used his will to display the power of a spiritual beast master. Qin Feng believed that if Qiao Shishir was here, she would definitely be able to subdue this giant winged fire demon. After all, she was a spiritual beast master. With a thought, holy light cleansed everything in the world. However, Qiao Shishir wasn't here. She was most likely in the hero city of Acropolis City. Strange energy waves rippled around Qin Feng. This energy waves couldn't be sensed by Hua Xiaojun and the girls. Only beasts and spiritual beast masters could sense it. The giant winged fire demon on the ground sensed Qin Feng's will. Its expression became sinister, and its roar became louder. It seemed to be resisting Qin Feng's restraint. Actually, Qin Feng's initial plan was to subdue this super magical beast. However, the giant winged fire demon was too powerful, so subduing it was simply impossible. But now that fire demon was seriously injured, its consciousness and willpower were at their weakest. There was a chance to break its defense. Hua Xiaojin and the other girls stood a dozen meters away and stared at Qin Feng in a daze. They had no idea what Qin Feng was doing. When they heard the roars of the fire beast getting louder and louder, and its body struggling more and more violently, the girls took out their weapons and prepared to attack at any time. Qin Feng was currently engaged in a silent battle of wills with the giant winged fire demon. There was no smoke from this battle, but it was equally intense. This fire-attributed Class 6 magical beast was indeed powerful. Even though it was heavily injured, its willpower was still incomparably firm. Even with the blood demon armor and the sovereign realm, Qin Feng still couldn't subdue it. After fighting for a while, Qin Feng felt as if his brain was on fire. Master, you won't be able to defeat the giant winged fire demon if you keep going like this. It's very easy for you to go berserk, Little Pig said worriedly. Qin Feng also sensed the danger, and he felt as if his head was about to explode. If the sacred azure battle armor hadn't been broken, it would have been of some use. Activating hyper-intuition could increase his spiritual power. Master can buy mental power potions, Little Pig quickly suggested. Qin Feng immediately looked at the system's inventory. Mental power potions were split into a few grades: elementary, intermediate, advanced, and super. The higher the grade, the stronger the effect, and the more hedonist points they cost. After looking through it, Qin Feng found that mental power potions were quite expensive. Elementary mental power potions cost 50,000 hedonist points per bottle, and intermediate mental power potions cost 100,000 hedonist points. Qin Feng didn't even dare to look at advanced and super mental power potions in detail. Little Pig could read Qin Feng's thoughts and quickly said, Master, mental power is a very important ability for cultivators. It's crucial for things like forging, alchemy, and controlling flying swords. The system's mental power potions are permanent, so they're a bit more expensive. However, they're definitely worth it. Qin Feng didn't have time to think. He gritted his teeth and bought a bottle of elementary mental power potion. Instantly, 50,000 hedonist points disappeared, and a bottle of red potion appeared in his hand. Qin Feng opened the bottle and gulped it down. A strange energy rippled in his mind. Qin Feng had already checked the introduction of the elementary mental power potion. After drinking this potion, one's mental power would increase by 5 times. Roar, roar. The giant winged fire demon on the ground suddenly roared crazily. Qin Feng knew this was the effect of the mental power potion. Now that his mental power had increased by 5 times, his mind felt incomparably clear. He could move his thoughts at lightning speed, and the effects were incomparably powerful. Master, congratulations on breaking through to the Imperial stage. Little Pig's voice rang out. Qin Feng's heart finally calmed down. The 50,000 hedonist points were well spent. However, when he looked at the remaining 1,069 hedonist points in the system, Qin Feng was shocked. He remembered that he had almost accumulated 2 million hedonist points to open the Immortal Island realm not long ago. Why did he suddenly lose 1 million hedonist points? It was said that money flowed like water, but Qin Feng spent hedonist points like drinking water. Under his new wave of thoughts, the giant winged fire demon's reaction became more and more intense. After struggling for a while, the giant winged fire demon gradually calmed down. In the end, its enormous body lay at Qin Feng's feet like an obedient pet. What's going on? Hua Xiaojin was dumbfounded. Ziyu and the other beautiful women stared at each other. No one understood what was going on. At this time, they heard Qin Feng say, Little darling, you're finally subdued by me. From now on, you're mine. The women rolled their eyes and almost fainted from shock. They always thought Qin Feng had gone crazy. Only now did they realize that he really subdued the giant winged fire demon. The four women from Mount Zixia had a shocking thought. Qin Feng was too ferocious in that aspect. Could it be that he subdued this super demonic beast for something? Wait, is this giant winged fire demon male or female? Young Master Qiao, why you really subdued the fire demon? After a long time, Hua Xiaojun finally came to her senses and ran to Qin Feng's side. The other women also hurried over. When they saw the giant winged fire demon lying on the ground and rubbing Qin Feng's shoes happily like a child, they felt like the end of the world was coming. I've already subdued this fire demon. Everyone, don't think about killing it. The fire demon grew up eating fire demon fruits. Its flesh and blood indeed have very good cultivation effects. As for prolonging its lifespan, I think outsiders are exaggerating. Now that the fire demon has been subdued by me, that fire demon tree is also ours. We can pick the fire demon fruits at will. Since Qin Feng said he wouldn't kill the giant winged fire demon, everyone naturally had no objections. When they found out that they could bring back some fire demon fruits, the women instantly became excited. Everyone returned to the fire demon tree. The thousands of fire beasts were guarding there. This fire demon tree was like their home and life. If the tree was gone, their food would also be gone. Roar, roar. Just as they arrived, the group of fire beasts roared. Hua Xiaojun and the other women jumped in fright, but they heard Qin Feng say, "Everyone, don't be afraid." The reason these fire beasts roar is to welcome the giant winged fire demon. The fire demon is their leader. Now that it has been subdued by me, these fire beasts are also my subordinates. They won't attack us. The women were relieved. Now that they were no longer enemies with the fire beasts, everyone realized that these fire beasts looked very cute. They all had 2 hands and 2 feet and walked like humans. Their bodies were covered in fiery red fur. When they weren't angry, their expressions were naturally adorable. Young Master Qiao, it's not easy for these fire beasts. Why don't we take less fire demon fruits? Hua Xiaojun was very kind and looked at Qin Feng with anticipation. Qin Feng had already collected a mountain of fire spirit stones and didn't care about these fire demon fruits. He sat under the fire demon tree and said, "The effects of these fire demon fruits aren't as powerful as the fire spirit stones. Let's absorb the spirit qi in these fallen fruits. Don't pluck the ones on the tree." All the women nodded in agreement. Everyone sat under the tree and cultivated together. The surrounding spirit qi was incomparably abundant. Qin Feng also set up a small spirit gathering array. The true qi in everyone's body circulated back and forth, and their cultivation speed instantly increased by several times. Just the number of ripe fire demon fruits that fell to the ground numbered in the hundreds. When everyone was hungry, they would grab a fruit and eat it. Then they would refine the fire spirit qi in their bodies, eat a few more fruits, and repeat this process. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. All the women had broken through one realm. Qin Feng also felt the qi in his dantian expanding. He was only half a step away from the 7th stage of true qi. If he encountered an opportunity, he could break through at any time. Swish, swish, swish. Under the fire demon tree, the sounds of swords could be heard. After the women broke through, they began to practice martial arts to stabilize their current realm. Hua Xiaojun had stepped into the 4th stage of true qi. She brandished her purple cloud sword with ease. Her body was surrounded by purple mist, and she looked like a fairy that had descended to the mortal world. In the end, Qin Feng still couldn't break through to the 7th stage of true qi. He simply withdrew his true qi. Cultivation was originally a heaven-defying action. It couldn't be forced. Young Master Qiao, where are we going now? Seeing that Qin Feng had withdrawn his cultivation, the women quickly surrounded him while Violet Rain asked. Of course, Qin Feng was concerned about the Thousand Shadows sect. He looked at Qin Xiao and said, "Lady Qin Xiao, Xiao Zhen and I have been out training for quite some time. Now that the giant winged fire demon has been subdued by us, everyone has obtained plenty of fire spirit rocks, and we have all broken through realms. I think we should say our goodbyes here. If fate wills it, we will meet again. Qin Feng knew that it was time for the Thousand Shadow Sect's disciples to return to their sections. He purposely took the initiative to break up with them. This way, when Qin Xiu and the other two ladies returned to their sects, he could just follow them all the way to the Thousand Shadow Sect. The three ladies from the Thousand Shadow Sect didn't think too much about it. They looked at Qin Feng with some reluctance. Although they hadn't known each other for long, Qin Feng's strength and heroism had convinced them. They were all very grateful to Qin Feng. Chapter 1432. Qin Xiu and the other two had already left. Qin Feng was extremely excited. He released the recon plane and activated its stealth tracking mode, trailing behind the Thousand Shadow Sect's disciples. The four women from Zhixiao Mountain hadn't left yet. Violet Rain looked at Qin Feng ambiguously and said, "Young Master Qiao, why you're really going back to the sect? I wonder if we'll ever see each other again." Qin Feng had fought with the four women twice, and those were truly fierce battles. He said, "I'm a disciple of the Celestial Soul Sect. If you really want to see me, come find me in Celestial Soul City when you have time." The four women were overjoyed. After witnessing Qin Feng's strength, they knew that Qin Feng would stand at the peak of the Divine Continent in the future. If they could build a good relationship with him, wouldn't they have a meteoric rise in the future? After saying their goodbyes, Violet Rain left with the three disciples, leaving only Qin Feng and Hua Xiaozhen under the fire demon tree. Hua Xiaozhen was overjoyed. Young Master Qiao had become her exclusive again. "Young Master Qiao, are we going to chase after the Thousand Shadow Sect disciples?" Hua Xiaozhen knew what Qin Feng was thinking. Qin Feng said, "Of course we have to follow them, but there's no rush. Let Qin Xiu and the others go first, in case they discover us if we follow too closely." Anyway, there was a drone watching, so Qin Feng wasn't worried about losing them. He looked at the giant winged fire demon sitting under the fire demon tree and thought about how to take this giant away. The Hedonist sovereign system could store items, but it couldn't store living things. The Jade Spirit Ring was the same. It only stored inanimate objects. Now, such a large super demon beast couldn't be put into the Jade Spirit Ring or the system. Qin Feng didn't plan on taking the giant winged fire demon with him. That would be too big of a target, and they would definitely be discovered by the Thousand Shadow Sect disciples before they even reached the halfway point. "Little Pig, is there any way to take the giant winged fire demon away?" Qin Feng asked. It hadn't been easy for him to subdue this super demon beast, so he couldn't just leave it here. "Master, this is a bit troublesome. The main thing is that this demon beast is too large. How about Master activate Immortal Island? That way, you could take the giant winged fire demon away," Little Pig said. Qin Feng had always wanted to open the Immortal Island. Unfortunately, the cost of opening the Immortal Island was too high. However, now that the conflict was right in front of him, he decided to open the Immortal Island to see what it was. With a slight thought, the system's voice rang in Qin Feng's mind. The host Qin Feng's hedonist points total is 1,069 million. The Immortal Island interface cannot be opened. Would you like to borrow hedonist points to open it? As a rank 7 hedonist mortal, Qin Feng had the authority to borrow 1 million hedonist points from a system. He hesitated for a moment, then gritted his teeth and said, "Loan." Host Qin Feng has borrowed 1 million hedonist points from the system. The borrowing rate is 0.1%, and the borrowing period is 3 months. At that time, the host will need to repay the host with interest. If the host is unable to repay the host, the hedonist sovereign system will automatically shut down. Ding! Congratulations to host Qin Feng for spending 2 million hedonist points to open the Immortal Island. A series of system notifications rang in Qin Feng's mind. He quickly calculated. Based on the interest rate of 0.1% per day, the 1 million hedonist points he borrowed would generate 1,000 hedonist points every day. 1 month would be 30,000, and 3 months would be 90,000. A majestic aura suddenly exploded in Qin Feng's mind. He didn't have time to think about the loan. The system in his mind suddenly rang loudly, and an island shrouded in celestial chi appeared in the midst of the chaos. Qin Feng stood in the center of the system. He had been here no less than 100 times, so he couldn't be more familiar with it. However, looking at the majestic scene in front of him, he felt as if it was the first day he had obtained this system. "Master, are you dumbfounded?" Little Pig leaped onto his shoulder and scratched his head with its claws. Qin Feng walked toward the island shrouded in celestial chi as he said, "Little Pig, this is the immortal island." "That's right, Master. This is the immortal island that you just spent 2 million hedonist points to open. Although unlocking it is expensive, it's worth it." Not only was Little Pig excited, but even Duan Yu, Ouyang Feng, and the other heroes followed behind Qin Feng excitedly. "What is this immortal island for?" Qin Feng increasingly realized that this island was unusual. The immortal island, as the name suggests, is an island where a celestial venerable once appeared. Little Pig was halfway through its sentence when Qin Feng interrupted it. "The celestial venerable you speak of is a powerful half-step fairy." Little Pig shook its head proudly and said, "Master, what's the big deal about a half-step fairy? Those who can step into the immortal island must be a powerful fairy, not some fake immortal of the continent." With Qin Feng's current realm and vision, he still couldn't understand what immortal of the continent and true immortal were. At that moment, he had already walked to the foot of the immortal island. There was a bluestone path in front of him, and it was surrounded by precipitous cliffs shrouded in celestial chi. As for where this stone path led to, he had no idea, because the end of the bluestone path was obscured by clouds and mist. "Can we go over?" Qin Feng asked Little Pig. As a powerful level 6 vital energy expert, Little Pig had the support of a powerful star technology battle armor. Even though he had come to the Divine Land, he had been arrogant and oppressive all the way. However, standing at the entrance of the immortal island, he felt a powerful pressure and heaviness. He didn't even dare to take the first step on the bluestone path. "Master, don't worry. This immortal island was opened by you, so from now on, it is your territory." "Master, you can give a name," Little Pig said. The serious expression in Qin Feng's eyes didn't disappear. He looked at the clouds and said, "Let's call it Immortal Island for now. Let's go in and take a look first." Tap! Qin Feng leaped and landed on the first bluestone that led to the immortal island. The bluestone was actually floating in midair. Below it was a bottomless canyon. As Qin Feng walked forward, he realized that every bluestone was floating in midair. Little Pig and the other heroes followed behind Qin Feng. Even the glacier snow mastiff and the flaming golden eagle followed. The bluestone path didn't seem long, but it seemed to lead to the sky as they walked. "Master, you are too cautious. You can speed up," Little Pig reminded him from behind. Qin Feng turned around and looked. After such a long time, he had only walked a few dozen meters. He stood on the bluestone and let out a long breath. With a slight thought, he instantly turned into a shadow and disappeared. Swoosh! Gusts of wind suddenly rose. After Qin Feng charged on the golden wheel, the heroes and battle pets also burst forth with speed. Instantly, several black shadows flickered in the clouds. After running for an unknown amount of time, a bright light suddenly appeared in front of them. A huge open space appeared. "Little Pig, this is the immortal island?" Qin Feng had a confused expression as he stood in the center of the open space and looked around. The open space was surrounded by immortal fog. They couldn't even see the bluestone path that they came from. Everyone seemed to be trapped in this open space by the immortal fog. This was a real open space. At a glance, there was nothing else other than the ground. The glacier snow mastiff and the flaming golden eagle were running and jumping on the ground. Golden Fur Lion King and the other heroes were also excited. "Master, this is the immortal island," Little Pig said with certainty. "The immortal island isn't as small as it looks. Its vastness is beyond Master's imagination. In order to protect Master's safety, the system opened up a corresponding area based on your current strength. As long as Master continues to increase your realm, The immortal chi around the immortal island will dissipate and reveal its original appearance. Qin Feng was instantly depressed. Then I can only move around in this area? What's so good about this place? Master's area of movement on the immortal island is not controlled. You can completely open up those hidden areas now. However, that will be dangerous, so the system suggested that Master develop in the existing areas first, Little Pig explained. The more Qin Feng listened, the more confused he became. After a long time, he still didn't understand what the immortal island was for. Little Pig continued to say, Master, the immortal island has many functions. I'll tell you a few of the most powerful ones. This immortal island is a cultivation plane. The spiritual chi on the island is extremely dense. It's nearly 100 times denser than China's. In the future, Master can completely cultivate here. Your cultivation speed is much faster than China's secular world and China's. Also, this immortal island is a real spatial plane. It's just that it's hidden by a formation like China's. Normal people can't enter, but Master can enter at any time. You can even bring others in. Qin Feng finally understood a little. After opening the immortal island, he could bring the giant winged fire devil to this island. However, he still had many unanswered questions. This immortal island was a real plane? Then was he the only person on the island? Little Pig said this was a cultivation plane. Could it be that there really were immortals on Earth? Little Pig could read Qin Feng's thoughts and continued to say, Master, simply put, you can think of the immortal island as another China. This is a real continent, and it's not something that Master only has. However, a great battle happened on the immortal island. After that battle, the people on the island either died or fled. It's hard to say if there are still people on the island. Qin Feng nodded and said, Then can I understand it this way? I spent 2 million hedonist points to open up the formation to enter the immortal island? Little Pig yelled in surprise, Master, you're simply too smart. It's like this. From the moment Qin Feng obtained the hedonist sovereign system, he slowly experienced the system's trickery. At this moment, he wanted to curse again. However, before he could explode, Little Pig quickly said, Master, don't be anxious. Do you think opening the formation to enter the immortal island with 2 million hedonist points is a loss? Actually, Master has profited greatly. Think about it, Master. Before you entered China, how would you have known about the existence of Qi experts? Ever since you entered China, Master broke through to stage 6 true Qi and obtained many cultivation resources. You're no longer the same as before. Chapter 1433. Little Pig spoke clearly and logically, and Qin Feng had no way to vent his anger. He calmly analyzed the situation of the immortal island and gradually realized that spending the 2 million hedonist points wasn't a loss. This was equivalent to discovering a new continent. How do I bring the giant winged fire demon in? Qin Feng asked. Master already has a unique formation to enter the immortal island. You only need to activate it with your mind to enter the immortal island. You can also pull humans and beasts in. Just as Little Pig finished speaking, a gigantic creature descended from the sky. After a massive explosion, a gigantic crater was blasted into the ground. The giant winged fire demon looked around with a dumbfounded expression, finding all of this incomprehensible. Seeing the giant winged fire demon, the flaming golden eagle and glacial snow mastiff became nervous. These two spiritual beast cultivation levels weren't high yet, so they were like children in front of the fire demon. Fire demon, from now on, this is your home. Qin Feng leaped onto the fire demon's shoulder. Fire demon was still in a daze as he roared at Qin Feng. Little Pig, what kind of bird language is this guy speaking? As a spiritual pet, Little Pig was proficient in beast language. Master, the fire demon said that the spiritual chi here is abundant. It likes it here, but there's nothing to eat here. It misses the fire demon tree and its little fire beasts. Qin Feng rolled his eyes. He couldn't let it bring the fire demon tree in, right? That tree was too big. Qin Feng couldn't move it. However, he heard the fire demon roar again. Little Pig said, Master, The fire demon set wants to go back and bring the fire demon tree in. Qin Feng was speechless. He activated his mind, and the image of the celestial mist disappeared. In front of him was the gigantic fire demon tree and the surrounding fire beasts. Young Master Qiao, say something? Don't scare Xiaozhen. As soon as he came out, Qin Feng felt Hua Xiaozhen shake his arm. She was so anxious that tears rolled down her cheeks. Qin Feng hugged Hua Xiaozhen and patted her head. I'm fine, Xiaozhen. Let's dig out this fire demon tree, and I'll take you to a new place. Hua Xiaozhen was stunned. She stared at Qin Feng in disbelief. Young Master Qiao, why you're not joking, are you? This tree is too big. How are we going to dig it? Just as Hua Xiaozhen was feeling depressed, she heard a series of angry roars. When she saw the giant winged fire demon uprooting the fire demon tree, her eyeballs nearly fell to the ground. Seeing that the fire demon was making a move, the thousands of fire beasts also began to help out. However, the fire demon tree was simply too huge. The beasts busied themselves for a long time to no avail. Qin Feng gave the giant winged fire demon an order. Instantly, the fire demon led the group of fire beasts and retreated to one side. He leaped into the air, and several hundred meters of golden saber chi rained down, blasting the ground around the fire demon tree into smithereens. The roots under the ground were revealed. They crisscrossed and were as complicated as the traffic map of the capital. Qin Feng struck the ground a few more times and chopped off some of the messy branches of the roots. He had the fire demon pull up the tree again. Roar! The enraged roar shook the heavens. The fire demon unleashed all of its abilities, and with the help of hundreds of fire beasts, the towering fire demon tree finally loosened a little. When the deepest root was pulled out, the ground within a radius of 100 meters was lifted up. Rumble! The fire demon tree fell to the ground. It was as if the sea-stabilizing divine needle had fallen. The ground within a few hundred meters shook violently as if there was an earthquake. Master, the fire demon tree is a spirit tree. It needs to be planted underground in time to absorb spirit energy. Otherwise, it will die very quickly, Little Pig reminded. Qin Feng didn't waste any time. In an instant, the fire demon and the thousands of fire beasts entered the immortal island with a fire demon tree. Where is this? Young Master Qiao, what happened? It was Hua Xiaozhen's first time entering the immortal island. She was so frightened that she threw herself into Qin Feng's arms. The thousands of fire beasts were howling in a frenzy. A few of them were trembling in fear. Xiaozhen, this is my secret base. Only the people I trust the most can enter. You can look around first. I'll bring the fire demon tree back. At this moment, the flaming golden condor and the glacial snow mastiff were frolicking in the open space. The golden-haired lion king and the other heroes were cultivating. Hua Xiaozhen looked at them in a daze. Then, she looked at the immortal mist surrounding her. She still felt like she was dreaming. After some effort, Qin Feng and the beast had replanted the fire demon tree. The giant winged fire demon roared excitedly at the sky. The fire beasts gradually adapted to their new home. They ran around in the open space. It seemed like they liked their new home very much. Master, the area you have now is not small. You can start building and renovating it, Little Pig suggested. Qin Feng looked at the open space with a radius of a few kilometers. He had the same intention. The spirit energy on the immortal island was extremely dense. Even a random piece of trash on the ground was comparable to a low-grade spirit stone in China. Qin Feng planned to build a few castles on this open space and plant an herb garden. Later on, he would remodel it according to the layout of Hero City in the outside world. Huatuo was the best at herb gardens. However, Huatuo was still in Hero City in the secular world. Now that the system's functions of Heroes Alliance and the space-time gate were no longer working, he could not get Huatuo over. Qin Feng took out some spirit herbs and spirit plant from the Emerald Spirit Ring and asked Shimen Shueishue and the other heroes to plant them. As for the construction of the castles, he left it to the giant winged fire demon. It had thousands of fire beasts, so it was a piece of cake. rumble. Qinfen did not know how long he had stayed on the immortal island. Suddenly, a muffled sound came from his body. Hua Xiaojun was so frightened that she was at a loss. She asked worriedly. Qinfen, on the other hand, was pleasantly surprised. He realized that he had broken through to stage 7 vital energy. However, he did not deliberately cultivate and break through on the immortal island. From this, it could be seen that the spirit energy on the immortal island was extremely dense. Rumble. Qinfen was overjoyed when he broke through. He leaped into the air and slashed down with his saber. The golden saber aura became even more violet. The golden light was dazzling, as if it had condensed into a substantial saber. The saber aura spanned 400 to 500 meters. The moment it landed, the ground cracked. Hua Xiaojun was dumbfounded. Young Master Qiao, so you've broken through? Qinfen was very satisfied with his current strength. Not long ago, when he fought against Yang Gang, he could not resist at all by relying on the power of his martial arts. But now, if he encountered a stage 8 vital energy expert again, he would not be unable to fight back, even if he could not kill his opponent easily. Under Qinfen's arrangements, the immortal island began to develop in an orderly manner. He looked at the place where the immortal Qi lingered for a long time. In the end, he gave up on the idea of stepping into those areas. Since this was a cultivation continent, the experts or spiritual beasts that existed were definitely extremely powerful. With his current strength, he was clearly extremely weak. With a slight thought, Qinfen and Hua Xiaojun had already returned to the Fire Beast Battalion. Hua Xiaojun's eyes widened again. She felt that all of this was a dream. Young Master Qiao, we're back? Where's that super demonic beast and your friends? Qinfen left the giant winged fire demon, Duan Yu, and the others on the immortal island. He also instructed them not to go to other areas of the immortal island. They're still on the immortal island. Let's go to the Thousand Shadows sect now. Qinfen came to the Divine Continent to find his mother and Zhao Lingxian at the Thousand Shadows sect. He would not change his plans because of anything. Qinfen carried Hua Xiaojun on the flaming dragon horse and galloped away. Hua Xiaojun's expression was sluggish. Clearly, she had not completely recovered from the shock of the immortal island. After running for an unknown amount of time, the two of them arrived at the entrance of the Fire Beast Battalion from the depths of the base. Originally, there were over 100 sect disciples in the Fire Beast Battalion doing missions. However, because Qinfen had previously collected more than half of the fire spirit stones from the bodies of the fire beasts, there were not many people in the huge Fire Beast Battalion now. However, the Blazing Sun sect's elder, Yang Su, was still guarding the entrance with 7 or 8 disciples. When they saw Qinfen on the horse, they immediately blocked the exit with cold expressions. Young Master Qiao, it's those bad guys again. Hua Xiaojun grabbed Qinfen's arm worriedly. Qinfen patted the back of her hand lightly. He did not care about Yang Su and the others at all. Before he broke through to the stage 7 vital energy, he could already kill Yang Su, let alone now. Stinking brat, you still dare to come out? Yang Su's expression was ferocious. He looked like he wanted to skin Qinfen alive. Qinfen sneered. Why wouldn't I dare to come out? As for you guys, if you don't move aside, I will make you regret it. The 7 or 8 disciples were so frightened that they took a few steps back. They had personally witnessed Qinfen's valiant skills. This action angered Yang Su half to death. However, he pretended to be calm and said, Look at this Fire Beast Battalion. Right now, there isn't even a single disciple who came to do missions. This is all thanks to you. If you want to leave peacefully today, then hand over all the fire spirit stones on you. Qinfen was amused. This Yang Su still wanted to rob him? He was simply courting death. What does it have to do with me that no one in the Fire Beast Battalion is doing missions? I will give you 3 seconds. If you don't get lost, I will take your dog life. Qinfen was so domineering that Yang Su was fuming with anger. He was, after all, the great elder of the Blazing Sun sect and a powerful existence of the stage 7 vital energy. However, he was somewhat afraid of Qinfen from the bottom of his heart. Based on the strength that Qinfen displayed during the battle with the Fire Beast, Yang Su admitted that he was not Qin Feng's match. However, Yang Su did not back down and shouted, "Stinking brat, don't refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. I know that your skills are not bad, but you are still alone. Why don't I tell you a secret? This place is guarded by my sect's vice patriarch, Yang Gang. Patriarch Yang Gang has already stepped into the stage 8 vital energy a long time ago. If you wait for him to come out, you brat." Qin Feng's ears were about to grow calluses. He suddenly leaped from the back of his horse and slashed with his blade. There was a muffled, thunder-like sound in the sky, and a golden blade aura that was hundreds of meters long instantly landed on the ground. Yang Su and the disciples behind him were dumbfounded. They did not expect that Qin Feng would still dare to make a move even after knowing that Vice Patriarch Yang Gang was guarding this place. Was this brat tired of living? Yang Gang? I have already eliminated him in the depths of the Fire Beast Battalion. You guys better hurry and reincarnate. Rumble. Chapter 1434. Hua Xiaozhen suddenly realized that young Master Qiao was a great calamity. Wherever he went, there was either an intense battle or the place was razed to the ground. Look at the Fire Beast Battalion. There were no fire beasts or fire demons, no disciples on missions, and no fierce sun gate guarding this place. However, Hua Xiaozhen was infatuated with such a tyrannical and barbaric calamity. The two left the Fire Beast Battalion and rushed towards the formation to enter Poison Sun City. According to the information sent back by the scout plane, the 3 girls from the Thousand Shadow sect had already left Poison Sun City. The formation to leave this place was not always available. When Qin Feng and Hua Xiaozhen arrived, there were already many sect disciples gathered here. After asking around, they found out that they had to gather 50 people before the people from Fire Beacon City would activate the formation to return to the city. More and more people gathered, and there were already more than 40 people. Everyone had finished their missions. Some sat on the ground and began to cultivate, while others gathered together to brag. Hua Xiaozhen was still wearing the short skirt and sleeveless top that Qin Feng gave her. She looked out of place among the long robes and long sleeves. Dozens of pairs of eyes stared at her restlessly in the dark, making Hua Xiaozhen feel very shy. "Yo, where did this beauty come from? Why did you run out without even wearing pants?" A tall and sturdy man couldn't take it anymore and walked towards Qin Feng and Hua Xiaozhen. Behind a sturdy man were 4 disciples. From their clothes, they should be from the Iron Armor Army. "Are you blind? My woman is wearing a skirt. I advise you to scram. I don't want to kill anyone right now." Qin Feng's expression turned cold. If it wasn't for the fact that they needed 50 people to teleport back, he would have already killed the man in front of him. The sturdy man suddenly became angry. He glared at Qin Feng and roared, "Stinking brat, are you crazy? Do you know who I am? Iron Armor Army's little elder Xiongba. I want you to kowtow and beg for mercy, or else I'll teach you a lesson." Seeing that there was a commotion, many people came over to watch. Hua Xiaozhen angrily touched the violet cloud sword on her back, ready to attack at any time. Qin Feng couldn't be bothered to look at Xiongba. This brat was only at true Qi Stage 6. With Qin Feng's current strength, he could kill him with one slash. People are coming. Another 2 groups of people are coming. We can teleport now. However, at this moment, a cry of surprise came from the other side. Everyone looked over and saw that there really were 8 people. For a moment, everyone ran to the circle of the array formation and stood there. Even those who were there to watch the show were gone. Qin Feng couldn't be bothered with Xiongba. He hugged Hua Xiaozhen and walked towards the formation. At this time, the circle was full of people. Someone had already started counting. "Oh no, we have 52 people here. What do we do if there are 2 more?" This array formation could only be activated by 50 people, and only 50 people could be transported at a time. It was like taking an elevator. If there were more people, the array formation would be overloaded, and it would be easy for something to happen. Knowing that they could return to the city, Xiongba put away his petty thoughts about Hua Xiaozhen. He brought his 4 disciples to stand in the circle and yelled in a strange tone, "If we get rid of that adulterous couple, we'll have exactly 50 people. Everyone looked at Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun. Seeing that Qin Feng was young and Hua Xiaojun was a woman, they immediately agreed to Xiong Ba's suggestion. Hua Xiaojun was infuriated as she shouted at Xiong Ba, "What right do you have to make us stay? It's not like we were the last to arrive." The crowd pretended not to hear Hua Xiaojun's grumbles. Xiong Ba said with a smug smile, "Why do you ask? Your team has the fewest people, so it serves you right to be bullied. Are you indignant? Come beat me if you have the guts. But I have to warn you, don't get pushed down by me if you can't beat me." "Huh?" Hua Xiaojun's eyes turned moist from anger. Just as she was about to draw her sword and stab him, she saw a middle-aged man walk out of the array formation. He was dressed in Xing Shan's attire. "Junior brothers, let's wait for the next batch," said the man. Xing Shan's 4 disciples were taken aback as they looked at the man incredulously. "Senior brother Fang Zheng, the array formation is about to be activated. Why are we leaving?" "Senior brother, it will take a long time to gather 50 people. We might have to wait in the desert for a few days and nights." Fang Zheng did not seem to hear his junior brother's grumbles. His expression turned cold as he ordered, "I said to wait for the next batch. We were the last to arrive. How can we take advantage of others who arrived first?" The crowd was dumbfounded. The disciples from the various sects looked at Fang Zheng as though he was an idiot. This was the land of China. It was a place where fists and power spoke. How could he be reasonable? What a joke. The 4 disciples felt extremely depressed, but they had no choice but to listen to their eldest senior brother and walk out of the array formation. With 4 fewer people in the array formation, there was no way to activate it. The crowd grumbled. A few of the stronger disciples cursed Fang Zheng without any scruples. Xiong Ba was infuriated as well. He pointed at Fang Zheng and roared, "Darn punk, if you don't want to leave, don't waste our time. I advise you to obediently bring your men back. If not, I'll make sure you never leave Poison Sun City." The others stood on Xiong Ba's side, clamoring for Xing Shan's men to return. Xing Shan's 4 disciples secretly glared at Fang Zheng, but they could not grumble. "Heroes, our Xing Shan isn't in a rush to return. We aren't in your way, right? Are you trying to order Xing Shan around?" Fang Zheng was a little infuriated. Xiong Ba jumped out and stood in front of Fang Zheng with a huge saber. He roared, "Who the fuck cares about your Xing Shan's lousy matters? If you don't leave now, none of us can leave. I'll give you 3 seconds to consider. If you don't leave by then, I'll cleave you in half." Xiong Ba's body suddenly emitted rich quintessential qi. He fully displayed his quintessential qi stage 6 strength. Fang Zheng's eyes turned nervous. He had just stepped into quintessential qi stage 5. "Why don't we do this? My 3 junior brothers, the youth, and the woman will make a total of 4 people. You guys will leave with 50 people." Fang Zheng was a little afraid, but he did not wish to take advantage of Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun. The matter had been resolved, but Xiong Ba refused to back down. He raised his saber above his head and shouted, "I want the 5 of you to join my team. The adulterous couple will stay here. If you dare speak any more nonsense, I'll take your life." The atmosphere was at a stalemate. Fang Zheng's face was ashen. His hands secretly reached for the saber at his waist, ready to attack at any time. Suddenly, he heard a loud noise. When he looked at Xiong Ba again, Fang Zheng jumped in fright. Why did this person's head disappear? Whoosh! The people in the formation circle also noticed the situation. Immediately, there was an uproar. Someone died? Fuck! Where's that person's head? Can you not scare people in broad daylight? I didn't see anything. Who did it? Xing Shan doesn't have this kind of strength. The 4 disciples of the Iron Armor Army suddenly woke up and ran to Xiong Ba's side. "Young Elder Xiong Ba, hey, are you okay? Say something." One of the disciples was flustered. His words almost made Qin Feng laugh. Xiong Ba's head was cut off by his fire blade. How could he say something? "Brother, let's go into the formation together. Out of the 3 of you, 1 will stay here." Qin Feng had already walked up. He thought highly of Fang Zheng's character. After being in the Divine Land for so long, this was the first time he met such a kind and honest person. When Qin Feng stood in the formation circle with Hua Xiaojun in his arms, Xing Shan and the Iron Armor Army were still in a daze. The disciple of the Iron Armor army suddenly woke up and rushed toward Qin Feng fiercely. You killed young Elder Xiongba, didn't you? You brat, you're asking for death. He must have sneaked up on us. Let's go together and kill this adulterous couple. The four of them were so fast that they covered the distance of dozens of meters in a few breaths. The disciple in the front was about to enter the formation circle when he saw a flash of fire. In the next moment, the man's legs landed on the ground. His upper body was still in the air when he was hit by Qin Feng's palm and flew 100 meters away. Boom! There was a loud explosion in the air. The three people who were rushing over suddenly stopped. They looked at the legs on the ground and the upper body 100 meters away. They were so scared that they almost knelt on the ground. If I'm not wrong, there are exactly 50 people here. Everyone, hurry up and come in. Qin Feng acted as if nothing had happened and didn't even bother to look at the dead disciple. The people inside the formation were dumbfounded. They thought that Qin Feng was easy to bully, but now they realized how powerful he was. The three surviving disciples of the Iron Armor army and Xing Shan's group all entered the formation. Not long after, the teleportation formation was activated. After an unknown amount of time, everyone landed in the northern outskirts of Fire Beacon City. The moment their feet touched the ground, many disciples immediately left. They were helping Xiongba and wanted Qin Feng to wait for the next group. But now, they were afraid that Qin Feng would settle the score. Qin Feng didn't have the time to care about these ants, but he wasn't someone who would let others bully him. Seeing the three disciples of the Iron Armor army running for their lives, Qin Feng's cold voice came over. Where do you think you are going? Qin Feng's voice seemed to have a magical power, scaring the three of them into immediately stopping. Their bodies involuntarily trembled, and one of them said, "Young hero, please spare us. We know we were wrong." Qin Feng didn't care. How could these people truly repent? They were just afraid of Qin Feng's strength. If Qin Feng wasn't stronger than Xiongba, then either Hua Xiaojin would have been violated, or they would have to wait for several days in Poison Sun City. Whoosh! A flame suddenly appeared, and two of them immediately fell to the ground. The remaining one realized Qin Feng's ruthlessness and her originally weak appearance greatly changed. With a ferocious expression, she roared, "Stinking brat, you better not act recklessly. This is the outskirts of Fire Beacon City with people from the Fire Beacon Hall guarding it. You dare to kill people here? The Fire Beacon Hall will not forgive you." Pucci! Before the disciple could finish, his body was already separated. A few days ago, when Qin Feng first came to the northern district of the Fire Beacon Hall, he already beat up Deacon Wang Lei in the office. Even now, Deacon Yi was still trying to curry favor with him. Would he be afraid of killing people in the outskirts of Fire Beacon City? Chapter 1435. Brother Fangzheng, thank you for your help earlier. After killing the armored army disciples, Qin Feng walked over to Xing Shan as if nothing had happened. Xing Shan's four disciples trembled in fear. Fangzheng's eyes were filled with awe. "Why, young hero, you are too polite. With your skills, you do not need my help." Seeing that Fangzheng and the others were afraid of him, Qin Feng smiled. "Brother Fangzheng, my name is Qiao Feng. I am a disciple of Lingxian's sect in Lingxian City. I have important matters to attend to. If you need any help in the future, you can come to Lingxian City to find me." Qin Feng did not have many friends in China. He felt that Fangzheng was a good person. Xing Shan's disciples were stunned and looked at Qin Feng in disbelief. Recently, Lingxian City was famous in China. Lingxian sect was seen as one of the most mysterious sections. This was the first time Fangzheng and the others met a disciple of Lingxian sect. "So young hero Qiao is a disciple of Lingxian sect. No wonder you are so skilled. It is my honor to know such a young and promising talent." Fangzheng cupped his fists and said. Qin Feng took out some fire spirit stones and gave them to Fangzheng. "I have something to attend to. See you later." Seeing Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojin disappear into the distance on Flaming Dragon Horse, Fangzheng and the others could not come back to their senses. When the four disciples saw the fire spiritual rock in their senior brother's hands, their eyes almost popped out of their sockets. They thought to themselves that the people from the spiritual immortal sect were too generous. Qin Feng chased after the three women. To avoid being discovered by the three women, he stopped from time to time. After following them for 3 days and 3 nights, he finally stepped into Heaven Domain City. "Hey, you two, get off your horses and show me your identity tokens." Just as they reached the city gates, Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun were stopped. At the entrance of the city stood 2 rows of armored guards with spears in their hands. Anyone who wanted to enter the city had to be checked. Hua Xiaojun became nervous, but Qin Feng said calmly, "Officers, my wife and I are poor citizens of Distant Eye City. A while ago, there was a great war in Distant Eye City, so we were on the run. Unknowingly, we came to Sky Regent City. We want to settle down here in the future. 3 days ago, the 2 of them had left Poison Sun City. After leaving, they had chased after the 3 beautiful women through the night. Their faces were covered in dirt and dust, and they really looked like refugees who had fled here. In the divine great land, what the big cities needed the most were the poor and strong men. They were the lowest level servants in a city, the cheapest labor force." The leader of the guards waved his hand and was about to let the 2 of them in when his gaze suddenly fell on Hua Xiaojun. "Wait, are you hiding any weapons on you? Or a disciple of the Distant Ice City's Holy Gate? I want to search you. Great Lord Imperial Guard, we are just ordinary poor people. How could we have any weapons?" Qin Feng said with a smile. The guard captain ignored Qin Feng's words and stared straight at Hua Xiaojun. Because there was some dirt on Hua Xiaojun's face, the guard in front did not take a closer look. Only now did he realize that she was such a beauty. Qin Feng understood the guard captain's intentions and was instantly enraged. However, he could not start a massacre here. If he did that, he would definitely be hunted down by the entire Sky Regent City's government and the Holy Gate. How could he go to the Thousand Shadows sect to find them? Hua Xiaojun could also see that the guard captain was up to no good. Her face turned cold, and her hand reached for the purple sunset sword on her back. Before she could make a move, she was pulled into Qin Feng's arms. "Lord Imperial Guard Captain, we really did not bring any weapons. If you really want to search us, then find a place with fewer people. My wife is an introverted person. How could she let you touch her body in front of everyone?" Qin Feng's words were ambiguous. The guard captain's eyes turned green. "Hee, at least you know what's good for you. Then you stay here. I'll bring your wife over there to search them." Hua Xiaojun glared at the guard captain angrily. She secretly grabbed the corner of Qin Feng's clothes and looked at him pitifully. Qin Feng patted the back of her hand and smiled at the guard captain. "My lord, it's not like you only want to search my wife. You also want to search me, right? I'll bring my wife and go with you." The guard captain glanced at Qin Feng in disdain. Qin Feng was a man. Why would he have any interest in searching him? However, in order to be conservative, he impatiently waved his hand and said, "All right, the 2 of you, follow me. You guys, guard the city gates and wait for me to return." "Yes, Imperial Guard Captain Ma." The guards standing guard at the entrance of the Heavenly Regent City stood at attention as they watched Ma Dong walk away. Envy filled their hearts. They naturally knew why Ma Dong was bringing Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun. When they thought of Hua Xiaojun's angelic appearance and devilish figure, the guards all became restless. Under Ma Dong's lead, Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun arrived at a remote courtyard. This was the guards' dormitory. There was no one in the courtyard in broad daylight. "Cough, cough. You brat, go wait in the room next door. I'll search your body after I search your wife." Seeing that there was no one in the courtyard, Ma Dong was satisfied. How could Hua Xiaojun be willing to go to a room alone with him? She immediately dove into Qin Feng's arms and refused to come out. Why aren't you leaving? Are you looking for trouble for no reason? Do you believe that I won't treat you as a mountain bandit and bring you to the yamen?" Ma Dong was a little impatient and purposely said some harsh words to scare Qin Feng. Qin Feng had already sized up the courtyard. After confirming that there was no one else in the courtyard, he felt relieved. "How do you want to search my wife?" Qin Feng suddenly smiled and looked at Ma Dong. Ma Dong was stunned. He felt that Qin Feng had suddenly changed into a different person. Just a moment ago, Qin Feng was still so respectful. Why was there a playful smile on his face now? However, Ma Dong didn't think too much about it. As a Yamen runner, how could he be afraid of a poor commoner like Qin Feng? Stinking brat, why do you care how I search your body? I advise you to quickly scram to the side. Otherwise, I'll kill you with a single slash of my blade. Ma Dong pulled out the long blade at his waist. Qin Feng acted as if he didn't see it. Suddenly, his large hand started to touch Hua Xiaozhen's body. Do you want to search me like this? Search my entire body? As Qin Feng spoke, his large hand unscrupulously reached into Hua Xiaozhen's collar. Hua Xiaozhen didn't resist at all. Her originally cold and indifferent face suddenly turned crimson. She looked at Qin Feng shyly and awkwardly. Young Master Qiao. Qin Feng's hand suddenly exerted force. Before Hua Xiaozhen could finish her sentence, it turned into a seductive shout. How could Ma Dong resist such temptation? His eyes lit up as he raised his blade and rushed over. Brat, your wife is really like a fairy. Let me help you take care of her in the future. Rumble. Ma Dong's blade descended. It was as if he wanted to hack Qin Feng to death. However, the long blade missed, leaving a shallow scar on the ground. Just as Ma Dong was wondering why Qin Feng and Hua Xiaozhen had suddenly disappeared, a violent gust of wind came from behind him. Before he could turn his head to see what had happened, his entire body exploded into a bloody mess. Hua Xiaozhen had long since gotten used to Qin Feng's ruthless attacks. However, she didn't have the slightest bit of sympathy for Ma Dong. Furthermore, she realized that the people young Master Qiao killed were basically all bad people. As Qin Feng killed Ma Dong with a single slash, his other hand didn't forget to search Hua Xiaozhen's collar. Hua Xiaozhen's small face turned red. Her voice was as soft as a mosquito's. Young Master Qiao, do you want to? Let this lowly servant serve you. Just as Hua Xiaozhen was about to undo the buttons on her collar, she was stopped by Qin Feng. Now is not the time. This guard captain is dead. Very soon, someone will put out a bounty on our heads. The most important thing right now is to find the Thousand Shadow sect as soon as possible. Hua Xiaozhen hurriedly tidied up her clothes. Meanwhile, Qin Feng burned Ma Dong to ashes with a ball of destructive flames. After dealing with these matters, Qin Feng let Hua Xiaozhen leave first. After a while, he ran to the entrance of Heavenly Regent City. Sirs, Sir Ma Dong has already searched my body. I told you I didn't bring any weapons. Qin Feng greeted the guards with a silly look on his face. Those people sneered in their hearts. They were all very arrogant and completely ignored Qin Feng. Why isn't my wife out yet? Logically speaking, the search should be over soon. Qin Feng began to complain after waiting for a while. One of the guards sneered. Idiot, I advise you to hurry up and enter the city. Don't think about your wife. An evil glint flashed in the eyes of the other guards. They had also taken a fancy to Hua Xiaozhen's beauty. If they could scare this idiot Qin Feng away, wouldn't that woman become everyone's plaything in the future? You lowly commoner, why aren't you entering the city after searching me? If you don't want to go in, then scram. I think this unruly commoner is here to rebel. Let's just capture him and bring him to the Yamen. The guard tried to scare Qin Feng, and in the end, Qin Feng was scared away. Seeing Qin Feng disappear into the distance, the guards laughed complacently, imagining the scene of them pushing Hua Xiaozhen down tonight. Qin Feng walked to the corner of the street and saw Hua Xiaozhen waiting there. Hua Xiaozhen threw herself into his arms, looking nervous and afraid. Xiaozhen, don't be afraid. I won't leave you behind. Qin Feng understood Hua Xiaozhen's thoughts. This woman was too reliant on him and saw him as her entire world. Hua Xiaozhen gradually calmed down and asked with a puzzled expression, Young Master Qiao, why? Why did you let me leave first? Where did you go just now? That Ma Dong's death will definitely attract the attention of the Yamen. I believe that those guards will pin the crime on me. Now that I've burned Ma Dong and purposely want to find those guards, they won't think that Ma Dong is dead. At most, they'll think that he went somewhere to have fun. By the time they realize that Ma Dong is dead, I'm afraid that we'll have already found the Thousand Shadow sect and completed our mission. Hua Xiaozhen understood and looked at Qin Feng with admiration. Young Master Qiao, you're so smart. Qin Feng patted her head and continued on his way on the flaming dragon horse. Chapter 1436. In the Divine Continent, there were many holy sects and experts. However, there were 5 most powerful sects, known as the Divine Continent's 5 supreme sects. These 5 sects had many disciples, and their sect leaders were unfathomably powerful. They were existences that other holy sects, big or small, did not dare to offend. The Thousand Shadow sect was one of the Divine Continent's 5 supreme sects. The 3 women had already returned to the Thousand Shadow sect, but they found that the elders and above were not there. At the same time, the important figures of the Thousand Shadow sect were gathered in the main hall. As one of the Divine Continent's 5 supreme sects, the Thousand Shadow sect occupied a large area. The main hall was as luxurious as a palace. There was a long red carpet in the middle of the hall, extending all the way to the main hall's throne. On the throne, which was made of spirit stones, sat a beautiful woman. No one could tell her age from her appearance. She looked like a young woman in her early 20s, but everyone present knew that this was a woman who had lived for nearly 100 years. She was the Thousand Shadow sect's sect leader, Qing Chun. 2 rows of women stood in front of the hall. They were all Thousand Shadow sect's elders and vice sect leaders. However, these people were not the main characters of this meeting. The main character was a beautiful woman standing in the middle of the red carpet. She wore a white robe and stood upright, her exquisite figure faintly discernible. There was a white veil covering half of her face, but the pair of big eyes that was revealed could charm tens of thousands of male disciples. Sect leader Qing Chun, who was sitting on the spirit stone chair in the hall, stood up and looked at the woman standing on the red carpet. Qing Ling Xian, your talent is outstanding and you're a genius. As long as you focus on cultivating our sect's charm technique, you'll be able to dominate the Divine Continent in the future. You've joined our sect for exactly 3 months, and you've broken through from an ordinary person to stage 4 true Qi. This speed is truly enviable. Why can't you just stay in the Thousand Shadow sect? The woman in white stubbornly raised her head and said, Senior Qing Chun, my name is Zhao Ling Xian, not Qing Ling Xian. I was tricked here by you, and now I'm homesick. Please let me go. The woman who had caught the eye of the Thousand Shadow sect leader was actually Zhao Ling Xian. 3 months ago, she had caught the eye of her current master, Great Elder Qing Bai, and was brought to the Divine Continent from the mortal world. Originally, Zhao Ling Xian wanted to quickly break through so that she could fight alongside Qin Feng, so she agreed to go to the sect with Qing Bai to cultivate. However, she never thought that the Thousand Shadows sect would be in another world. She found that this was a completely unfamiliar place, and she didn't even have a way to return to Hero City. As soon as Zhao Ling Xian entered the Thousand Shadows sect, she regretted it. Every day, she begged Master Qing Bai to let her go, but the Thousand Shadows sect refused to let her go. Zhao Ling Xian was a rare beauty, born for the Thousand Shadows sect's charm techniques. Seeing that Zhao Ling Xian's attitude was as resolute as ever, everyone in the hall sighed. Qing Chen's expression turned cold, and he suddenly said, Clear spirit immortal, there's no harm in telling you a truth. This is a different world from the Hua Xia secular world that you are in. It's not impossible to return to the secular world from the Divine Land, but you'll have to wait for 20 years when the formation weakens before you can leave. To put it simply, for the next 20 years, you can only stay in the Thousand Shadows sect and train hard. No one could send you back. Zhao Ling Xian felt as if she had been struck by lightning. She stood on the red carpet in a daze, unable to come to her senses. Her tears flowed uncontrollably. Did she have to wait for 20 years? How could she wait? What if Qin Feng forgot about her after she left? Or would Qin Feng look different in 20 years? Would he also change his appearance? If they met again, would they be able to recognize each other? I don't want to wait 20 years. I want to go back now. Hurry and let me go. I don't want to stay here, Zhao Lingxian suddenly yelled and screamed like a madwoman. She sat on the ground and cried like a helpless little girl. In the divine land, she had no relatives, and everything was strange and cold. How could she endure 20 years here? Qingbai couldn't bear to watch anymore. She walked up and put her hand on Zhao Lingxian's shoulder as she comforted her. Lingxian, sect leader Qing Chun is telling the truth. The formation that leads to the Hua Xia secular world only weakens once every 20 years. Only when the formation weakens for a month or so can we enter and leave the secular world. Otherwise, we'll be destroyed by air currents during the teleportation. Zhao Lingxian thought that sect leader Qing Chun was lying to make her stay. However, after hearing Qing Bai's master's words, her last trace of hope was extinguished. Zhao Lingxian suddenly thought of committing suicide. She simply couldn't endure 20 years of suffering. Her longing for Qin Feng was tormenting her to death. She would rather die quickly. However, before Zhao Lingxian could stab her dagger in her heart, it was slapped to the ground by Qing Bai. The crowd gasped, and sect leader Qing Chen shook her head and sighed. She was helpless against Zhao Lingxian's stubbornness. Lingxian, why are you so stupid? You'd rather commit suicide than stay in the Thousand Shadows sect and bitterly cultivate for 20 years before returning to the outside world? What are you thinking? Qing Bai's eyes reddened. Although she had only known Zhao Lingxian for 3 months, she was very fond of Zhao Lingxian and took care of her like her own child. She really couldn't send Zhao Lingxian away right now. Otherwise, she would definitely let Zhao Lingxian leave. After failing to commit suicide, Zhao Lingxian sat dazedly on the ground like a soulless puppet. It was as if she couldn't hear anything anyone asked her. The Thousand Shadows sect's elders and sect leader felt quite helpless. Qingbai couldn't bear to see this happen, so she stepped out and said, "Sect leader Qing Chun, since this spirit celestial disciple insists on not joining our sect and doesn't want to bitterly cultivate our sect's charm techniques, how about we stop forcing her?" Another elder immediately stepped out and retorted, "How can we do that? Right now, the Thousand Shadows sect is in a crisis. Ever since senior martial sister Qing Ying disappeared, old sect leader Qing Chun has disappeared. Sect leader Qing Chun is shouldering the sect's responsibilities alone, and she won't be able to hold on for much longer." The Thousand Shadows sect's vice sect leader also spoke up. "Our Thousand Shadows sect is one of the Divine Continent's 5 Supremes. Originally, our sect's strength was at the top of the 5 Supremes, but because senior martial sister Qing Ying and old sect leader Qing Chen disappeared, our strength is now at the bottom of the 5 Supremes. We can be replaced by other new sects at any time." Faced with everyone's rebuttal, Qing Bai still insisted on speaking up for Zhao Lingxian. "Vice sect leader Qing Yi, although our Thousand Shadows sect has fallen, at least our foundation is still there. You and sect leader Qing Chun are both top-notch experts. How can other holy sects replace our position as one of the 5 Supremes so easily?" Qing Chun sighed and said, "Qing Bai, you underestimate the sacred sects of the Divine Continent. Just the newly risen spiritual immortal sect alone has the potential to take away our position as one of the Thousand Shadows sect's 5 Supremes. That spirit celestial sect is mysterious and unpredictable. In one night, they dominated Distant Ice City and Meteor City and changed their name to Spirit Celestial City. I heard that a few days ago, an ordinary disciple of Spirit Celestial sect caused a ruckus in the Science and Technology Museum and killed a group of Stage 6 and Stage 7 Supremes." Once Qing Chen's words came out, the crowd gasped in surprise. An ordinary disciple of Spirit Celestial sect could kill Stage 7 Supremes. From the looks of it, this Spirit Celestial sect was truly incredible. Just as the atmosphere in the main hall was at a stalemate, Zhao Lingxian, who had been sitting in a daze, suddenly jumped up. This sudden action gave everyone a fright. Lingxian, before Qing Bai could finish, Zhao Lingxian immediately interrupted, "Master Qing Bai, did you just say Spirit Celestial sect? There's also a Spirit Celestial City? What's going on? Where's Spirit Celestial City?" I want to go now. Zhao Lingxian's actions were too abnormal, causing everyone to scratch their heads in confusion. However, some people realized that the newly risen spirit celestial sect in the Divine Continent had the same name as Zhao Lingxian. However, no one thought that the sect had anything to do with Zhao Lingxian. That was simply a fantasy. Lingxian, don't get excited. A month ago, Distant Ice City and Meteor City were occupied and changed their names to Spirit Celestial City. At the same time, a Spirit Celestial sect appeared in the Divine Continent. I've never heard of this sect before, and I don't know what it used to be, Qingbai hurriedly explained. Zhao Lingxian's beautiful eyes brightened. She calculated the time and thought about the name Spirit Celestial City. This was definitely not a coincidence. She realized that Qin Feng had already come to the Divine Continent to find her. Zhao Lingxian, who was originally in extreme despair, was so excited that she wanted to shout a few times. She wanted nothing more than to rush into Qin Feng's arms, kiss his lips passionately, and give her body to him like crazy. She knew that Qin Feng wouldn't leave her behind. Even if he went to another world, Qin Feng still chased after her without hesitation. Sect leader Qin Chun, I want to go to Spirit Celestial City. Zhao Lingxian made this request again. This time, her expression was resolute, and it didn't seem like she was joking. The people from the Thousand Shadows sect became more and more confused. They couldn't understand what Zhao Lingxian was thinking. Qin Chen's expression changed again and again. In the end, he said, "All right, I can take you to Spirit Celestial City, but not now. In a bit, a genius disciple from the Wind Sun Palace will come to our sect for an exchange. You will represent the Thousand Shadows sect's genius female disciple to receive him." Zhao Lingxian's expression changed. Sect leader, is that Wind Sun Palace disciple a man or a woman? Qin Chun calmly replied, an outstanding youth. Zhao Lingxian's expression immediately turned cold. Her tone was resolute. Then I won't receive him. I want to go to Spirit Celestial City. Rumble. There was a loud explosion. Qin Chun smashed the armrest of the spirit stone chair into pieces. The group of elders and vice sect leaders below lowered their heads in fear. Lingxian, this matter isn't up to you. If you don't receive him, then don't even think about going to Spirit Celestial City. Qin Chen's tone was unquestionable. Zhao Lingxian was so angry that she stomped her feet. However, she knew that she wasn't Qin Chen's match and couldn't resist at all. Sect leader, this matter can be discussed again. Qingbai couldn't help but step forward to ease the atmosphere. Qin Chun was also very anxious about the sex matters. He sighed and said, take Lingxian away first. The Wind Sun Palace is also one of the 5 supreme beings in the Divine Continent. This time, they came to establish good relations with our Thousand Shadows sect. If we seize this opportunity, our Thousand Shadows sect can still hold on as one of the 5 supreme beings. Otherwise, Qin Chun didn't continue. Qingbai understood. Sect leader, I'll take Lingxian away first. I'll try to persuade her again that you're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.